Good morning, Raptor freaks. That's right, it's game day. The Raptors are playing today. We get to watch them. Yes, game day. Toronto Raptors, Chicago Bulls, tonight, Summer League, Las Vegas, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's go. That's right. I've got your latest lineup news. I've got your predictions for what I think might happen tonight. Yeah, I've got some reacting to Summer League games last night. We got the classic card. We got the Instagram stories. We got all the regular stuff on the Raptor Freak stream. Let's go. Yeah, I'm excited. Can you tell? The Raptors are going to play a game tonight. And I know the superfan Monique Lawrence and many, many more of the great Raptors Nation are excited about today. I know I am. And I am really, really feeling good about the Raptors' chances in Las Vegas in the next week to show excellence, to show teamwork, to show chemistry, to show progress. And I'm excited about it. Great interviews yesterday with Coach Darko and other people at Summer League, including players like Chucky Hepburn and Jacoby Walter and stuff like that. But yeah, Darko has some expectations for this Summer League, and he's very proud. And some of the big thing Darko was talking about in the interview is all these guys bulked up, man. He said yesterday that Jacoby Walter has added 20 pounds of muscle to his body. Wow, that's awesome. And he was kind of going over different new players and what he thinks of them as far as Chucky Hepburn and Elijah Martin. And yeah, it's going to be exciting and fun to see. Of course, it's good to see Coach with the team in Vegas after being in Greece just last week. He was probably came straight from Europe to Las Vegas, maybe stopped a little bit in Toronto for a second. But yeah, Darko looking like he's been jet setting around a little bit with his look there. But yeah, I'm excited about tonight. The Bulls are a pretty good Summer League team. They're a team that we probably the toughest team we're going to play at Summer League in some ways, guys. Looking at the rosters, Chicago has some good talent on there and some players that honestly, I'm going to be quite honest, I kind of covet as players that I would love to have come on the Raptors. There's a couple players on the Bulls Summer League team that are players I would love to be a Raptor later. And the number one is Emmanuel Miller. Emmanuel Miller of Scarborough is the older brother of Leonard Miller of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And he's just a scrappy dude. He's on the level of like the player type of Jimmy Butler. He's just this kind of disturber. And he gets in there and puts his hands in things and gets things disrupted. And he's just a great all-around player. And I really like Emmanuel, like Miller. Watching him play for the Bulls last year and just in different places. He was in he did come in pre-draft workout for us last year, before the draft last year, and came to Toronto and worked out with Zach Edey at that time. But yeah, Emmanuel Miller is somebody to watch tonight, guys. Just so you know, he's not going to be the main guy for the Bulls, but that's a Canadian product from Scarborough, and he's underrated in some ways. I have a feeling that just because he was undrafted and certain things, he's going to find his way into being a regular NBA player somehow, some way. He's just like that. So he's somebody I'm looking forward to seeing tonight on the other side. And then, of course, Buzelis, of course, is the centerpiece for this team as far as the leader and the number one guy from last year, from the rookie from last year. He should be the guy they lean on pretty heavy. He really grew a lot in his rookie year, Matas Buzelis, after being on G League Ignite for a couple of years. He felt a lot of comfort in playing alongside Josh Giddey and the other Bulls this past year. So he's quite a good young player. I really like him. In fact, he was one of the players that I was kind of wishing the Raptors would get last year in the draft. But alas, it didn't happen. But he's somebody to watch out for. Of course, the Frenchman that people were trying to say we should draft in the draft this year, Noah Asenge. It may be the second banana in the game tonight beside Buzelis. So it very, very, very well be a lot of what the Bulls are doing against the Raptors tonight is centered around those two guys. So I fully expect Coach Wade and the Raptors coaching staff to tell the guys to concentrate on these two forwards, Noah Asenge and Matas Buzelis, and slow them the hell down. Deny them the ball. Do not let them even touch it. And just do your very best to stymie those two guys. And we may have a really good chance to win tonight against the Bulls. Now, I'm counting on the Raptors' familiarity with each other to be a huge advantage for them. And it's like I said, a lot of the team that's playing for us today in Summer League is known to each other. They have time together. Of course, our 5 rookies from last year are back into the Summer League roster, and they're healthy. Alrish Shamshay will be playing tonight. In fact, it was said that he's going to be the starting center tonight. So it is confirmed that Alrish will be starting at center for the Raptors tonight, and that's fantastic. Of course, the other rookies, the J Rooks, who I'm calling the J Softs now, as far as Jacoby, Jamal, Jonathan, and Jameson, will all have to show a certain level of connection that they've already built from last year, and hopefully will show that that is continuing to develop and get better and better. I'm excited. Darko actually said we're going to start Jamal at point guard, because somebody asked him, do we even have any point guards on this team? What are you talking about, Jamal Shed of Houston? He's a point guard. What do you mean, Aaron Rose? Your dumbass questions. Of course they have a point guard on this team. His name is Jamal Shed. Now, after that, maybe it is a little weird. Elijah Martin, not necessarily a true point guard, more of a shooting guard with a point guard size. Jarkel Joyner, same thing. Then you get into things like, well, if it's going to be after Shed, who could it be? Jonathan Mobo bringing the ball up the court a bit. Jacoby Walter was mentioned by Darko Rajakovic for a secondary ball handler after Jamal Shed tonight, because it is true. In some ways, the Raptors are playing tonight without a backup point guard, because the backup point guard for the Raptors is going to be the starting point guard. So we'll have to see how the ball handling duties go for the Raptors when Shed is off the court. It could be very, very interesting. Late news yesterday that an Exhibit 10 has been offered to David Roddy, formerly of the Memphis Grizzlies. Of course, Roddy is a forward. He's an undersized power forward, really, in my book. He's 6'4", 255 pounds. So he's a load, but he's also kind of a, he's been in the league for 4 or 5 years already. And, well, he's at this point where he's joining the Raptors Summer League team at the last minute as an Exhibit 10. I don't know what to expect with David Roddy. In some ways, he's been a bona fide NBA player at a certain point in the recent years, but I don't know where he's at with what he's going on with him, whether his weight is a problem or if he's just on his last gasp, last grab to try and make the NBA. We're going to have to find that out tonight and see if he even plays. But yeah, the Exhibit 10s are very interesting, who we offer to, Quincy Guerrier, of course, again, Clifford Omarui, Tyson Degenhart. These guys are all going to be on our Summer League team and most likely going to be transferred to 905 for the season also. So we should see the sharpshooter from Boise State, Tyson Degenhart, in the 905 jersey this season, hopefully. Clifford Omarui is going to be part of the center work for the 905 this season. And of course, Quincy Guerrier will come back as a veteran of the 905 from last year and be back, hopefully, playing for that team. So I'm very, very excited about tonight. I've got the depth charts. I'll go even more detail on both rosters as we go. If you guys have any questions or comments on our first Summer League game tonight, definitely put it in the chat. We're going to read all the comments. You know I will. Trevor J's first in the house. And, well, he is in the house, but we're going to find out in a second what happened. Trevor J saying, never dignify a rude comment with a rude reply. Always keep your cool when dealing with a fool. Wow, man, you made that rhyme so cool. I want to give you a dunk, man. That was awesome. Always keep your cool when dealing with a fool. I like that. I like that a lot, man. Yeah, this is true. When they go low, we go high. That's what we got to do, right? They got to be making themselves look bad in the way they are already making themselves look bad. And, well, we got to go high when they go low. And that's the thing, is like you don't meet that energy with their energy in this case. I mean, some people do still, but in some ways it's better to be better and just say, yeah, I'm not going to respond to that. You look horrible in what you just did. So thank you, Trevor J, for your words of wisdom, Commissioner Fun, and all the things you do for the channel, Trevor. You are awesome. Blessings to the J family. And all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. The J family. That's right. Trevor's saying the WNBA went there was WNBA. There was Minnesota Lynx won. They beat the Sparks. And the Washington Mystics beat the Las Vegas Aces last night at WNBA action. Yeah, checking in on our WNBA fantasy leagues. We've got some pretty good matchups. I'm kicking Reese's niece's ass. Cool Cat has got a 100-point deficit with Trucker Cavs. That's a tough test right there. MK is losing to Fiercey big time. MJ beating MK, and that's a big win, Fiercey. If you get the two-time champion Meredith this week, James is behind on Kareem, and this is crazy. We were talking about this yesterday. Logical Raptors fanatic is still losing to Edmund. We the best race mode daily, which is absolutely insane. If you know the league, absolutely insane that man is losing in that way. I don't have the refs for the WNBA or the Summer League games tonight, but I've seen that, people like Marat Kugat are over there in Vegas refereeing the Summer League games last night. They had the first big half of the games, the first night of the games last night in Vegas, and some really interesting results. I don't mind going over some of the stuff that happened in Summer League last night with some of the games like this, which is what Trevor's brought up. Ryan Nebhart of Aurora, Ontario, Canada, was the star for the Dallas Mavericks last night. Not number one pick, Cooper Flagg. Ryan had 21 points, 5 assists, and 2 rebounds, including the 3-point shot at the end to put the Mavericks over the Lakers to win the game. He hit the game winner. I'm very proud of this. I think that's awesome. I was wondering about Ryan Nebhart and what kind of Nebhart he's going to be, like Andrew. And well, yeah, he showed up, and he was one of, I would say this. I think Ryan Nebhart was the best Summer League player last night in a lot of ways last night. And now it's really cool. A couple of other guys that I had on my list that I thought were really top prospects really flourished last night. It looked amazing. Jean Berenguer of Minnesota Timberwolves with a monster stat line with a double-double and 6 blocks. And Maxime Renaud for the Sacramento Kings had a very good game last night also. So it's good to see that Lex does have a good eye for talent still, and pointing out these were some of my choices that the Raptors should have picked. Jean Berenguer and Maxime Renaud, 2 Frenchmen, absolutely kicking ass in Summer League last night. But Ryan Nebhart, we're proud of you. And yeah, Cooper was not that great, was he? He shot like 3 for 21. And yeah, there's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be a learning curve here for sure. Trevor's saying it's good to say happy game day. That's right. That's right. Oh, I know. This is a day where you bounce right out of bed because you know what's coming up, and especially Trevor J, because Trevor J is in Las Vegas, and he is going to the Raptors game tonight in person to represent the RFF. He'll be there in person, getting loud and rowdy for us as we play the Chicago Bulls tonight. That's right. Trevor's saying this. We tried to get into the Raptors practice at the Wynn Casino Ballroom, where they practiced the last few years. They've rented this casino ballroom in the Wynn Casino, and they put basketball courts in there, and they shoot around and they play in there. It's a famous thing the Raptors have done. And well, Trevor J was on the site yesterday. He tried to get in there. This was his mission. We told him, if you're going to Vegas and you're going to be at Summer League, you've got to try and get into the Raptors practice gym. Well, he tried, and he's saying that it's like Alcatraz. Only Raptors, media, or family members are allowed. It is very private. You cannot get in there. That's right. You cannot just walk in there like that. Well, you tried. I don't know, Trevor. Who do you look like the most on the team? Could you be somebody's family member real quick? Who should Trevor be? I'm Chucky Hepburn's Uncle Dennis. Oh, okay. Dennis Hepburn. Hi, nice to meet you, Dennis Hepburn. I'd like to come in and see my nephew shoot around some shots, Bobby Webster, please. It's like I'm Trevor Hepburn. I don't know, man. You said family members. It could be plausible. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know, Trevor. I don't want you to get in trouble and get banned from the Wynn Casino at all or anything like that. No, we don't want Trevor to get in trouble. But at least you tried, and we appreciate you trying to get in there. But I guess you can't get in there, man. I guess you can't. Let's see what else Trevor's saying about that whole situation. He's saying they're saying how much patient Maverick fans will have to be with Cooper Flagg struggles. He struggled last night. This is what I was saying, these idiots, this whole time. Y'all, I ain't going to believe it about Cooper Flagg that he's just instantly a superstar in the NBA. No, and now they're backtracking on this after one Summer League game. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. They will oversell the number 1 pick in the draft, and then they'll backtrack on it later. Oh, my gosh. Stargate and I were right. We were right. Keith Van Horn. I know Stargate's feeling good about that too. He's like, he probably saw the stat line for Cooper Flagg last night. He was like, yeah, Lex and I, yeah. Stargate, I hope you're here today at some point. We want to talk about this. That's right. Bryce Lawson is checking in from the Bluegrass state of Kentucky. Good morning to you, Bryce. I hope you're having a fantastic time and you and your fiance are living the best life you can right now. Let's go. Good morning, Lex and the Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, Bryce. I'm guessing you're excited for Summer League action for the Raptors tonight, just like we are up here. That's right, baby. Let's go. Seymour saying barbecue some brisket today. Feast up on the Bulls. Okay, so you're symbolically going to roast some brisket in Vegas at your friend's house next to the pool, and you are going to eat it like it's bull meat. Oh, yeah. That's the right ritual right there. That is the right ritual right there, Trevor J. You eat that bull brisket. You eat that bull brisket. Yeah, it's symbolic. Let's go. Let's go. Trevor's doing everything he can for the Raptors today. He's trying to get in the gym. He's cooking the brisket. He's coming to the game in full effect, and he's going to be loud, I'm sure, too, at the game. I'll bet you he will be. That's right. Seymour saying barbecue some brisket today. Feast on the Bulls. That's right. Barbecue that brisket. Barbecue that brisket. Yeah, that's right. Seymour is doing it, not Trevor. I'm sorry, I misread the comment. Seymour Pape gonna barbecue the brisket in Calgary. There you go. Kaz is here. Trucker Kaz checking in. Good morning, Lex and the Raptor Free crew. Good morning to you, Kaz. All the best and happiness to you and your family. And I hope you're getting ready for a nice, awesome weekend. That's right. Seymour saying Roddy is like Lofton Jr. Yeah, I got them confused to a degree because they both kind of played for Memphis and they were around at the same time. It's like they were two rooks on the chessboard for the Memphis Grizzlies. And they're kind of like dumpy guys. Let's just say that's the word, dumpy. You know, they're in the ilk of classic Barkley and the way that they're dumpy guys. But I don't know. He's a fighter. He's kind of like, I remember Roddy being better than Lofton because Roddy used to play in the rotation for the Grizzlies more often than Lofton. Lofton got cut, but David Roddy was actually like on their playoff roster in different places. So he has some interesting experience. But man, it's such a weird add-on right at the end of the Summer League. I don't think it'll go anywhere with David Roddy. Let's just put it that way. I don't think it'll go anywhere with him on our team. We'll have to see. In some ways, I don't really want him on the team because he's a 6'4" power forward. And that's enough for you to say, like, wow, that's really undersized. Yeah, it is. And I mean, if he was playing the shooting guard, maybe that would work. But he's supposed to be a power forward, which is crazy. Seymour saying a lot of teams going to pull from the OKC system, 3 max players and some role players locked in for the long haul. Yeah, they locked them up. Jalen Williams getting his deal done and Chet getting it done. And Mike, logical Raptors fanatic on our Discord, is saying, Mal, Oklahoma City has screwed up now. He's done the numbers. He's figured this out. And he's saying that the Thunder, with their moves this week, with the extensions for Chet and J-Dub, are not good moves in a couple years from now. As Mike's forecasting ahead, that they're really going to put themselves in a bind if things don't work out exactly right. So I'm curious to see what happens. Seymour saying Dort might be available soon. That's the thing. Those guys all got paid. What is going to happen with Luguette? What's going to happen with those other young players that are, important to their depth? That's the thing. This league is not easy for you to stay on top anymore. You could be the champ right now, Oklahoma City Thunder. But the next test is, can you keep it together in the new salary cap rules? Because there's going to be change. And when you change your team, you change the dynamic of how well you play. Sometimes you change it for the better and you win more. But more often, you change it and you lose more, especially if you already reached the pinnacle in the top, like what Thunder just did. They're more likely to lose somebody and get worse than get better than they did last year. Think about it. Seriously. They got the right formula this time, Sam Presti. But to keep replenishing it and making it happen, in some ways, it's going to be so difficult. And that's the way it's going to be for everybody. It's a fair, even playing field. So that's the thing I like about it right there. Seymour saying, yeah, Dort might be available. It's interesting. Kareem Thomas is here. We got basketball, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. How close are you to Calgary now, Kareem? And how much water is left? See, we're saying, who the hell paid Booker more money than SGA? That team needs to toe punt to the face in the arse. Yeah. I mean, I would say that's true. That doesn't make no sense to me. Devin Booker getting an extension with the Suns that's bigger than what the Thunder are playing SGA. Yeah, that is weird, man. Matasheba must be just very filthy rich, and he doesn't mind burning his own money because he's lost a lot of money since he's bought the Suns. And in some ways, I don't totally understand what he's doing. I really don't. Like, his team is weird, man. His team is very, very weird. And like, they haven't done well at all since he became the owner. The Suns have honestly, like, I would almost, if I was a Suns fan, be more happy with the time before Sheba, where they were kind of weird and middling, than this really weird bottoming out that they've been doing the last few years with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. So yeah, this is crazy, man. That doesn't seem right at all, Seymour. Doesn't seem right at all. Blackhawks here. Good to see Neil checking in. Our really, really great friend and Raptor freak, Neil Blackhawk. The Lakers Mavs game was actually good. Yeah, there's a lot of drama there. I think that the Lakers and the Mavs, when they play each other, they're gonna make this in a marquee matchup just because of the Luka shit. Now, this doesn't even involve Luka, but it's still kind of like they're really gonna be into Mavs versus Lakers going forward. You know they will, because of the drama with Doncic and stuff like that. But I'm glad that the Mavericks won. Once again, on the other side, the leading scorer for the Lakers was Cole Schwider, former Raptor from last year. He's outscoring Connect and Ronnie, of course. But Cole has been the star for the Lakers on their summer league teams so far in the California Classic and now in their first game in Vegas last night. So Cole Schwider, keep going, man. That confidence the level that you're operating on right now, man, is so nice to see. And I know somewhere your birthday twin, Garrett Temple's smiling, seeing the output that you're doing for the Lakers right now in Summer League. I know that's for sure. Yeah, Seymour Pape saying 3-21. 3-21? What? 3-21? Game over. Yeah, 3-21. Cooper Flagg shooting that much. That's right. It's crazy, man. It's like, dude, bro, what are you doing with your life, man? You've been so overhyped. He wasn't going to do anything good anyway, right away, for sure. Now, I'll go over some of the box scores. Let's start with the Pelicans and the Timberwolves. We see that the Timberwolves beat the Pelicans. The Pelicans had Derek Queen get out there, and he got 7 turnovers in the game last night. Wow. 13 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double for Queen, but 7 turnovers for that guy. And that's not winning basketball right there. The Timberwolves won by 7, and they were led by Leonard Miller with 20 points. Canadian Leonard Miller getting 20 points and 9 rebounds. As I said, Jean Berenguer was fantastic. 11 points for him with 8 rebounds and 6 blocks. 6 blocks for the big Frenchman. Of course, Rob Dillingham came out and played, got 15. Terrence Shannon Jr. with 20. So, yeah, good win by the Timberwolves over the Pelicans last night in the Summer League. Also, let's see more Summer League scores from last night, kind of looking at the box scores. Let's go to Cleveland at Indiana. Cleveland Cavaliers lost the game by 1. Tomlin had 30. He was on their G League team last year. I remember him on the Cleveland Charge. Jalen Tyson with 20 for Cleveland. And then Indiana got the win behind Ray J. Dennis. Ray J. Dennis was a two-way player for them last year. He got 26 yesterday. 24 for Quentin Jackson off the bench. And Johnny Furpey got 8 points. That's it. But, yeah, interesting win by the Pacers by 1 in the Summer League over them. Moving on, we got in this one, we've got Oklahoma City Thunder beating the Nets. In this game, Brendan Carlson did not play still. Neither did Thomas Sorber. So I'm guessing Sorber is still hurt from his injury in college. But, yeah, A.J. Mitchell was the big man for the Thunder in this game with Chris Youngblood. And Nikola Topic, who's healthy and playing for the Thunder yesterday. Now, the Nets have a ton of new young players, but their guy that did the damage was Drew Timme, who shot 10 of 13 from the field, 22 points, 9 rebounds for Drew Timme, who's a veteran of the Summer League at this point. But, yeah, the other big picks by them, Igor Demin, Danny Wolf, Ben Saraf, not really doing that great, honestly. The Nets look pretty bad yesterday. Let's see. Orlando and Sacramento. It was a game yesterday with the Kings winning by 3 over Orlando. Former Raptor 905 Kyler Kelly appearing for the Orlando Magic scoring 2 points, but having 10 rebounds. That's pretty good. Of course, Tristan da Silva was the star for the Magic in scoring there. We will play Orlando on Sunday at 6 p.m. So in some ways, we need to scout them out. Jason Richardson's son, Jace Richardson, 14 points on 5 of 8 shooting. And off the bench, La Bicire with 14 points also. But the winners for Sacramento, Maxime Renaud, 16 points, 2 of 5 from 3 with 6 rebounds. Also, Nick Clifford, the first-round pick for the Kings this year, 17 points. Mason Jones, 17 points. So good win by the Kings over the Magic. The Magic are down 0-1 in their first game. We'll play them on Sunday. And hopefully we will beat them also. That's what we want. That's right. Denver and Milwaukee happened yesterday, and the Bucks beat the Nuggets by 1. Another really close game. De'Ron Holmes, the second, made his return to the lineup and got 15 points to lead the Nuggets in the losing effort. On the Milwaukee side, it was Chris Livingston getting 18 points and 18 points for Cormac Ryan off the bench. Marquise Noel came in the game, did not score, missed his only shot, which was a 3, but he got 7 assists with only 1 turnover. Also, Malik Williams played in this game, former Raptor Malik Williams, playing for Milwaukee in the Summer League also. So there you go. There's an update on that one. Let's keep going. This is a fantastic game. The Spurs absolutely blew out Nick Nurse's Philadelphia 76ers and beat them by 41 points. Wow, it wasn't even close. You had David Jones Garcia for the Spurs with 24 points, leading the way. Dexter Dennis with 14, and Riley Minix with 14 also. So, yeah, Spurs fans very, very happy with the output in that game, kicking the Sixers' ass, who looked really, really bad. Their high scorer for the Sixers only got 12 points, with 2 guys with double digits, 1 guy with 12 and 1 guy with 10. Pathetic. Sixers, I'm telling y'all lose on purpose, you'll lose for good because your habits are losing. So there you go. There's a little Summer League update from last night. Yeah, Spurs Nation's reveling in the trouncing of the Sixers last night in the Summer League game last night. That was awesome, man. That was awesome. Kareem saying at Seymour, contracts are not always based on production. That's what people fail to realize. Sometimes contracts are based on timing and position available, also not letting them explore. This is true. This is true. I mean, let's look at Fred. Fred really kind of jumped on the right timing to get that deal with Houston. That deal with Houston where he made $45 million a year, that would not have happened at any other point. He was just really lucky with the timing, because what happened was Houston was forced to spend on their salary cap that they hadn't been spending for a couple of years. They've been really cheap in spending the absolute minimum for their team. And the NBA made new rules and said, well, you've got to increase your spending to be at this level now. And Fred was the benefactor of that. And that's why Freddie got $45 million from a year from the Houston Rockets, because they were forced by the NBA to do this. So these kind of like differences and different times and timing is true, what Kareem's saying. But it doesn't look good. In some ways, Oklahoma City and Sam Presti look better for getting Shai Gilgeous at a cheaper rate than Devin Booker. But it is what it is. Mattis Sheba has a lot of money. He's a very rich man. And like I said, he doesn't mind burning it, apparently. He doesn't mind burning it. I mean, I'd be worried about Devin Booker. You know, they got to get him away from Bradley Beal, because Bradley Beal is going to get him into the Bradley Beal world. And Devin Booker will want to be in the Bradley Beal world. Trust me. You want to be different than him. So get the hell away from him. And Bradley Beal's get bought out. And they're saying that he's going to go join the Clippers next. Well, all right, Clippers, just recycle older players in the league that are washed over and over again through your team. Go ahead. You keep doing that. That's right. You keep doing that right there. All right, let's see. Let's keep going with the chat. Seymour saying, if Trevor can't get in the ballroom and it's locked down, Amit might be in over his head. No, listen. It's different, though. Like, Amit's going to be going to Tel Aviv's arena. And they have a hallway. They have like the wings where they sell concessions and stuff. And there's trophy cases in there that are open to the public. That's where Amit's going to go. But this is different. I mean, let's think about it. This is where Colin Murray Boyles and Jacoby Walter and these guys are all working out. Not to mention Brandon Ingram's there and other players for our team that aren't on the Summer League. So, yeah, there's NBA security. There's security for the players. And this is not a place where the public needs to go. So I appreciate Trevor making the effort. and finding out at least there is some resistance to letting them in there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, Trevor, you need to say something. I'm from the Raptor Freak channel. I have a media credential. Maybe something like that. Say, who are you with? Oh, not Raptors Republic, Raptors Freak. Oh, Raptors Freak. Okay, yeah. Do you have a credential? Yeah, just make one. And just like, yeah, I credential. You come in, and who knows? Maybe Trevor, maybe you get an interview with one of the Raptors or coaches. That would be cool, man. I don't know. In some ways, I feel like you should channel your inner Fletch and do some sort of weird, like Chevy Chase, like smoozing and to get in there or something like that. Yeah, say you're a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or something like that. I don't know. Fiercey's here. Good to see MJ. Good morning, fam, and happy Friday. Thank you for trying, Trevor. Can you pretend you're a pizza delivery guy? That's what I was wondering. Maybe that's one. Yeah, maybe you could be petite pizza delivery. You say, yeah. Who would it be? Let's say David Roddy ordered a pizza. Yeah, I'm bringing it in. Yeah, he wanted a pizza. Yeah, it's an order for David Roddy. David Roddy. Is there a David Roddy in here? That's right. You just got to do that, Trevor. You got to get an outfit, though. So maybe like bribe a Domino's driver or something like that. Say, hey, can I borrow your shirt for real quick? Man, we're really brainstorming on this, trying to figure out how Trevor J can infiltrate the Raptors' secret practice facility in the ballroom at the Wynn Casino. That's right. Kareem is saying every contract is situational. Tired of everybody basing it on production. You think the Nuggets want to pay MPJ that money? They didn't. Denver would lose him, and Porter would be in LA jersey. Yeah, well, Porter's in he's in a new Brooklyn Nets jersey now. Yeah, he's in a Brooklyn Nets jersey. You know that he got traded, right? Michael Porter Jr. got traded for Cameron Johnson this summer. So, yeah, Porter Jr. is a net as of a couple weeks ago. So, I get what you're saying. In some ways, you got to stop people from going other places. You don't want to do things out of fear. No, you don't want to do things out of fear and say, oh, I got to stake my claim on this player and overpay them just so nobody else gets them. That's not good management. I understand what you're saying, Kareem, and you're right. But why are you getting so defensive about this? Devin Booker does not deserve to be paid more than SGA. It's just that he plays for an owner that's an idiot right now. I mean, I like Matasheba. Like, he's for the people. He wants to give the games for free on cable to the market. There's a lot of things about him that I like. But I'm going to say this right now. He's a horrible owner for winning. This team has not gone anywhere since he's bought it. And he's just made many, many mistakes with his roster. Many, many mistakes with Phoenix. And that's what it is. And maybe this contract with Devin Booker is the latest mistake, even. Maybe. We'll have to see. Yeah, Seymour's saying at Kareem, 100%. He agrees. Seymour's saying, I agree. It's not just based on production. My bad. I agree with you, brother. I mean, you're both right. I think you're both right. I think from the outside, it looks really bad because it's like, this is bad management by the Suns. If the market value is determined by the best player in the league, who is SGA right now, then, how does this all fall into each other? Is Devin Booker the better player in the league than SGA because he gets paid more? No. It's just that Matasheba has deeper pockets in some ways. Sam Presti has to be smarter with how he fits everybody's payment in Oklahoma City because he's got a very young core that are all going to want to get paid at the same time. And meanwhile, Devin Booker is a little bit further into his career, a lot further into his career than SGA. And he's at a different level where his contracts are hitting. So, in some ways, that's what we could also say about the situation. Watch where Gilgeous-Alexander is when he's at the age of Booker and where he is with his salary cap structure, his salary structure in the team at that point. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Fiercely saying our first summer league game. Yay. Yeah, we're excited. Let's go. Let's go, Trevor. Get down there and get loud. That's right. M. Jones is here. Good to see M. Jones back in the chat again this week. What's up, freaks? Considering our king has left the building, I'm excited for this year and tonight's summer league. Let's go, Raptors. Again, upset at all the haters again and again and again. Considering our king has left the building. Who are you talking about? Elvis? Elvis has left the building. I'm not even sure who you're talking about. Who's our king? Our king. I'm not even trying to. Oh, you mean Masai? You're talking about Masai Ujiri. Yeah, it sucks about Masai. I'm still pissed about this too. I'll bring it up every day. Ed Rogers, Keith Pelly, y'all letting go of Masai 2 weeks ago was messed up. And y'all are wrong for that. And you're still wrong for that. And I'm not ever going to forgive you for this. So, yeah, Masai Ujiri, you're a badass. We love you so much. And, man, it's just bullshit, man. It's bullshit, Keith Pelly. You hatchet man. And Ed Rogers, your stupid ass personal grudge, gonna make you lose money, just like Trump's making the United States lose money. There's reports out that the United States will lose $200 billion in tourist revenue because people are canceling their plane flights and trips to that country because of the dumpster fire that it is. Well, bad businessmen, egotistical businessmen, fascists, MAGA, Ed Rogers III, Donald Trump. Well, you make things go to shit is what y'all get to do. And letting go of Masai, very bad move. Very, very, very bad move. Very, 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 very bad move. Neil's saying, I will definitely enjoy tonight's game. Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's go. Yeah, I'm excited, man. All right, let me go look at the rosters a little bit more, guys. Let's look at Chicago. Now, I've gone over Buzelis and Asenge and Emmanuel Miller, but we've got our old friend, Javon Freeman Liberty, lining up against us on the other side. Of course, he's from Chicago. So his default team is to play for the Windy City Bulls and the Chicago Bulls. So we'll have to see where JFL is and his progress as a young player and his career. We'll have to see where he's at. Also, very intriguing that they have Yuki Kawamura. Yeah, the Japanese little guard is going to be lining up, and he's proud and happy. He's 5'8", 159 pounds from Japan. Played last year for the Grizzlies. So he's always a fun player to watch, Yuki. It'll be fun to see Jamal playing against him a bit. Also, this is a weird one, guys. Canada's own, Toronto's own, Josh Primo is on this Bulls team tonight. Of course, we know Josh Primo got in trouble for exposing his genitals to a team psychologist in San Antonio and got banned from the league for a year for that unscrupulous act of flashing himself to the female psychologist. And he's found his way to this point. He's on the Summer League team for the Bulls, and he'll be facing his hometown team, the Raptors, tonight. So, yeah, a bit of Canadian content on the other side with him and Emmanuel Miller. Are we still wanting to take Josh Primo as a Canadian person, or should we just say, no, we don't want him anymore? We don't accept him. I don't know. I mean, he made a mistake. And in some ways, he did say that he didn't even realize that it had flopped out like that, honestly. So I don't know. I don't know what to believe. He's probably lying. Jameer Young, of course, was on the team with the Bulls last year. He will be on this team once again with them. There's a couple of returning Bulls like him and Miller that were from the team last year, and Matis Buzelis. Also, I'll make note of their pick, Michael Parrish, is going to be from Ohio State. He'll be playing. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. This Bulls team is pretty stacked with some very intriguing good players with Buzelis, Asenge, Miller, and JFL and stuff like that. The coach of the Chicago Bulls Summer League team is the son of Billy Donovan III. So he will be the coach of this team for tonight for them. Yeah, I'm excited, man. The Bulls, like I said, out of the 4 teams we're playing on the schedule right now, they have the best roster, I believe. I think that this may be the toughest test. And in some ways that makes sense because we're going to probably only play Jacoby Walter tonight and maybe the next game against Orlando. The very best players from last year, they're just going to come in and show something real quick, and they won't play the whole time because in some ways we know who Jacoby is. Jacoby is already ensconced in our team, and he's going to be on our team. And in some ways we need more time on the court for some of the other guys on the roster to get that time. So expect Jacoby Walter tonight and maybe expect him on Sunday. But after that, you shouldn't see him play in Summer League after that. So I expect big things from Walter tonight because in some ways he needs to come out and step up. And this is the toughest team we're playing. So this is going to be the best competition in the Summer League. The other games may not be as good as this one tonight. Let's just put it that way. And, we'll play certain caliber players, like maybe even Shed. Shed may only play tonight and Sunday. The very best players from last year who have the experience will not have to play every Summer League game. But the young guys will. The young guys will. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. Kareem's saying, nah, bro, Seymour, you good. I left the house looking for Denny's. Now I'm running around trying to chase bison, wolves, moose, and caribou. That's right. Your last whereabouts were in the territories north. I don't know if you're Northwest or Yukon. You said you were somewhere near none of it. Well, oh, man, I don't know, Kareem. Do we need to send the search party out for you at this point yet? Are you okay? Are you out in some crazy middle of the Canadian wilderness? out in the middle of nowhere. That's right. We'll send a search party if you need it. That's right. Smooth saying David Roddy, low risk guy, I guess. I don't know. I guess they just added him. I didn't understand why we got 17 guys on the roster already, but we do. We got 17 summer league players now. David Roddy added to the mix yesterday. They saw him in the gym yesterday. That's what happened. Michael Grange reported David Roddy is here working out and practicing with the Raptors. I'm not sure about that. And then they announced just after that you got Exhibit 10 to come and be on their summer league team right now. So yeah, they saw him and they were like, whoa, wait a second. And that's also how they determined that Jamison Battle's contract was fulfilled and that he was retained, because there was a deadline yesterday that our sharpshooter Jamison Battle, if it had passed, he was going to be let go, but we signed it and he is guaranteed for this season. Jamison Battle will be on the Raptors for sure through this season. The next guarantee date for him is next June 30th. So he's going to be on the Raptors for sure for the next year, Jamison Battle. And that's nice to see. And that's what they said. The press said, well, Jamison's back in the gym with them, so he must have got his deal finalized and continuing, guaranteed. That's right. That's really good. Yeah, Seymour's laughing. Kareem saying, but I'm looking to feast on bulls tonight. Maybe you find a wild bull in the wild territories of Yukon. Maybe you find a wild bull out there. You may be more likely to find a wild bear, but the Bears, the Bulls, I don't know, Chicago, they're all sports teams. So maybe you can take out a bear in the name of the Bulls. I don't know. Well, if you find a bull, just take out a bull, I guess. I don't know. What are you going to do with this with? I mean, do you have a weapon? Like, are you able to kill animals with your bare hands, Kareem Thomas? I'm wondering. I do believe you could. I met you once. You seem like a tough guy. You could get in there and take down an animal like a bull over a bear with your bare hands. Yeah, there you go. Stargate is here. All right. This is what I wanted to see right here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Nah, I'm not happy or sad at Flagg's performance. My comments about Cooper Flagg were more geared towards these casuals who know nothing about evaluating talent. I know in some ways, let's take a little victory lap, man, that this dude did not shoot well in his first game. I want to go look at the box score actually for what he did, because honestly, it's very interesting. Like, he did have the winning assist, that he was the one who gave the ball to Ryan Nebhard when he won the game. So there is something in that. There is something in that. But let's really analyze Cooper Flagg's first stat line in the NBA. It's 10 points. 5 of 21 shooting. That is so bad. 5 of 21 shooting. That is so bad. He was 0 of 5 from 3, guys. He missed every single dang 3 he took. And he even missed the only free throw he shot. Man, I don't know. This guy may have jitters. It sounds like to me 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals and a block, though. So he did stat stuff. If not, did not do well. And it's crazy because, man, they have some good players on the Mavericks team. With Maxwell Lewis of Pepperdine, this kid is somebody I liked a couple years ago, and I feel like he's going to get better and better. But yeah, 8 points for Maxwell Lewis. Ryan Nebhard, the leading scorer, 21 points, including the big 3-point shot at the end for them to win. So Nebhard, 5 assists also. So yeah, he was the leading scorer for the Mavs in that winning effort of a 2-point win over the Lakers. And Cooper Flagg, 5 for 21. That's high usage and not very, that's not good bang for your buck right there. 5 of 21. You better tighten it up, Cooper Flagg. You better tighten it up. That's right. Seymour's saying we need 2 classic cards today. Why do you want 2 classic cards today, Trevor? Is there a reason? Give me your reason. Oh, that's Seymour saying that. We need 2 classic cards. Well, we had one yesterday. What are you talking about? We had Glenn Rice yesterday was the classic card. We'll see. Stargate saying people just automatically listen to the media-driven narrative on players and just regurgitate that. Cooper is not a generational talent. He will be a good player, yes, but not a franchise player. I agree with this. I agree with all of this. I think that they're crazy if they think this guy's just a generational talent. We'll see how things go. But yeah, that's a long shot. I think that's a long shot, what you just said. Smooth saying Miami people really think Norman Powell will elevate the Heat to a top 6 finish. That's what Heat Nation's saying since Norman Powell got traded to or signed with them or traded. He's traded, right? He was traded. I don't know about this. I mean, they're always going to overshoot where they think they're going to be. Some would say that that's what we do too. But I think in their case, I'm looking at them and I'm like, yeah, you guys are overshooting with what you should be. I think that they're going to be a playing team at the best. I think they'll be similar to last year at their best. And not better than last year. Seymour saying, I'm turning on the barbecue at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Hurry up. I got old Milwaukee ice and the blue cans for the game tonight. There you go. He's telling you to hurry up, Kareem, and hurry up with the bull or the bear or whatever, and get back down south to Calgary, Alberta, Canada, where the breakfast is free. That's right. That's right. Queen looked like a baby DeMarcus Cousins. When you watched him last night, Derek Queen looked like a baby DeMarcus Cousins. I don't know if that's good. Fiercey saying, predicted NBA Xmas games, Lakers versus Mavs. That's probably for sure. Knicks versus Wolves. That's another one that seems really likely. Oklahoma City versus the Pacers. I don't know. Maybe. Oklahoma City versus Denver. Maybe. I don't know. Despite a crappy season, you'll get the Celtics. Yeah. Even though the Celtics are probably garbage this year, they'll probably put them on Christmas Day. Who cares? Christmas Day. I'm glad the Raptors usually don't have to play on Christmas Day. They get to spend it with their families. Now they make them play on Boxing Day. Well, that's still a little bit better because they can fly out and get there. That's right. Seymour saying, yes, Fiercey. That seems accurate. Yeah, I think she's on point with what she's predicting there. I'm going to give her a dunk real quick. Those matchups seem likely. I think Mavs versus Lakers is definitely likely. Definitely likely. 81 for Fiercey on the dunk charts right now. I think that's very likely. Wayne saying, morning, Raptor Freaks. Flagg can play basketball and is a talent. Don't know if any freaks watched, but this kid is good. Not there yet, but he's a plus. Koloko looked awful, and he might be gone in 1 year. This is intriguing to me. I totally forgot to bring this up because in some ways I don't want to believe it's true. But Christian Koloko, wow, has he dropped off? Wow, has he dropped off? Everything that we built up in him on the Raptors a couple of years ago is gone. The Lakers have managed to develop him, undevelop him. Like, I don't get this, man. Looking at his stat line for this game is crazy. Like, they got him in. First of all, he came off the bench. Like, why isn't he even good enough to start in G League right now? This is crazy. This should have been like his fourth year or something, or his third or fourth year, and it's this bad. Christian was 0 for 3. In fact, 2 of his shots were three-pointers. What the hell are they doing? Why are they making him shoot threes? 3 for 4 at the free throw line, 2 offensive rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, a minus 15 with only 3 points, and they were all at the free throw line. That is sad, man. That is sad. Poor Christian. Christian, why'd you listen to Rich Paul to get to this point of going nowhere with the Lakers and the development system? Wow, that is so sad. That is so sad. I feel so bad for Christian of Cameroon. I feel so bad for him. Jeez. Isaac's here. Good to see Isaac Campbell. Kareem's retracted his message. And Smooth saying Lakers invited Christian to take part in the Summer League. Yeah, he came, and wow, he's not looking good. He's not looking good. Seymour's telling Kareem to use CBD ointments. There you go. All right. That's always a good general advice, just out of the blue. Smooth saying, I don't think Christian has a roster spot with the Lakers, though, just Summer League. How did this get to this point, Arizona Defensive Player of the Year? How did this get to this point, Koloko? Man, you guys really screwed up. I wish you guys were still around Toronto, Christian Koloko, but alas, you get what you get. That's what it is. Kareem's saying that Nick Clifford will win the Rookie of the Year. He's a Colorado Buffalo and seriously slept on. Well, he had a good first game last night. He's on the Kings, right? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Brian's here. Good to see King to the point. Dapping in. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening. Freak Nation. It's the King from To The Point, one of the other great Raptor YouTube channels that we love, that I collaborate with. And King, we're going to still do that shindig near the end of August and the beginning of September at your house. Do the next Raptor Freak hangout and To The Point family collaboration. Can we get this done, King? Yes, sir. Please, sir. We will talk about this more, sir, in the next couple of weeks. And let's nail this down, Brian, because I still want to get this get-together going that we have talked about already this summer. Always good to see Brian in the chat. Dap to Brian. And also the great producer, the greatest of all time, Arturus. We love Arturus. That's right. Stargate saying Jason Richardson's son. Yeah, Jason Richardson's son is on the Orlando Magic. Jace Richardson. That's right. The one he had with Nevermind. Oh, wait. Whoa. Don't TMZ me, bro. Don't access this Hollywood. No, my guy, we don't need to go in this tangent with NBA player lives, the private lives, the sordid affairs. No, I don't know who Jace Richardson's mother is. I have no idea. I have no idea. It's Mrs. Richardson, right? That's right. That's her name. I don't know her name. Jace Richardson, Jason Richardson. Well, he's an Orlando Magic. That's right. Seymour saying, Koloko, wow, man, thought he would pan out in the league. Yeah, it sucks. It's sad. He would have if he stayed in Toronto. But then blood clots and then Lakers. Now, man, stunted growth on Christian Koloko is going to be interesting. They should do it. You should do it, stunted growth. Do Christian Koloko. Stunted growth. This is a very crazy. That was so quick what happened. Brian said, let's see what our youngins can do against the Bulls tonight. That's right. What can our youngins do? Our youngins. Let's go look at our youngins real quick. Let's look at the Raptors roster. My depth chart, we've got at point guard Jamal Shead of Houston Cougars. Of course, he's going to be great. Number 23, we love you. And backup point guard Elijah Martin of Florida, and the current national champions of the college basketball in the Final Four in the March Madness. Elijah Martin was a very important player in that Florida championship behind Walter Clayton. Those two guys were 1-2 punch that really got the Gators to the cup and the winning. Jarkel Joyner, formerly of the College Park Skyhawks, is the third point guard in the depth chart. And once again, both Martin and Joyner are more scorer point guards in the vein of JFL. They're going to be scoring more than trying to pass more. So they're not necessarily the best playmakers. Now, Elijah Martin has been quoted as saying this week, I know what my job is. My job is defense, 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 defense. And that's what he's going to be bringing with his strong-ass arms. He's going to come and rip the ball out of the other team's hands and take it for the Raptors over and over again. I'm telling you right now, this Raptors team is looking like a video game team that spams steal on the other side. If you played video game basketball at any time, you know the strategy of spamming steal. Well, the Raptors are a real-life team that is going to spam steal on other teams like crazy with people like Elijah Martin, Chucky Hepburn, and Jamal Shead, and Jacoby Walter, and Colin Murray-Boyles. Yeah, they're going to be spamming steal. Let's just put it that way. The starting shooting guard for the Raptors tonight will be Mr. Walter from the Baylor Bulldogs. And I'm going to say this right now. Jacoby is looking really strong. And I expect a really big game from him tonight. I want to see a 30-piece Walter. I want to see you prolifically just take it to the Bulls tonight and lead the Raptors to victory. I want to see you get the leading scorer tonight. Seriously, Jacoby, I know it's in you, and I'm excited to see the short hair, big-armed Jacoby Walter make his debut tonight. Backup role for Jacoby is Chucky Hepburn, who it seems like Darko's really into. In the interview yesterday, he was very glowing about Hepburn and the things that he can do. The thing about Chucky is his hands are really good, guys. He's really, really good with his hands. Like, he's good at swiping and stealing and getting the ball out of people's hands without fouling them. And that's why he was the Atlantic Coast Conference's Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. So Chucky Hepburn, get ready for him out of Louisville. He's going to be fun to watch tonight, guys. And now he's going to be mainly on the 905 this year, just so y'all know. Tyreek Key of the 905 is the third shooting guard. He was in that depth chart with Grady Dick and Jamison Battle as a sharpshooter on our team. Let's see if Tyreek is dialed in to start to play tonight and he's hitting his three. This is subbed in with him. It's like either he's hitting three or he's not. And if he's not hitting his three, it can be pretty bad. So we'll have to see what Tyreek does. In some ways, Tyreek may not play today. He's in the extended roster that will be added in and played more later in the summer league. The best players are going to play tonight. And some of the guys like David Roddy, maybe not even playing tonight, are going to be sitting on the bench for this one. But they'll get in maybe the third or fourth summer league game. Small forward, we're going to start Jamison Battle, I'm pretty sure, because he's got the experience. And this is the thing. Darko also said this guy bulked up like crazy. That Battle is even more buff to battle with the bigs that he's going to get in there with. Because it's the thing. Jamison Battle can play small forward, but he can also play power forward. And the thing that he was showing at the end of the season last year was a lot more strength and battling for rebounds and playing really, really well on defense, honestly. So the strides that Jamison has made on his defensive side of his game are a big reason why he's guaranteed for this season now. You know, he could just be coasting on his three-point shooting because it's exemplary and it's very, very good. But this man knows he needs to have a more well-rounded game if he wants to stay in the NBA. And having the ability to play a sound defense where you're not a liability is very important. So, Jameson, you got the assignment, and it seems like you're hitting it out of the park as far as what you need to do. The backup small forward is hopefully a guy who will make it on our team. Brampton's own AJ Lawson. I have a real soft spot for AJ. I really, really do want to see AJ play for the Raptors for the whole year, but I am worried that this man will be one of the final cuts in training camp for this season before we start the regular season for the Raptors. Also at small forward, Quincy Guerrier of Montreal Lions, also Raptors 905. He will be showing up. He's great depth. He's a great character guy. And Canadian content is always welcome anywhere when it has to do with the Raptors. From New Zealand, a deep, deep cut on this team is Aniwana Tate Jones. And he's a swing. He's a small forward shooting guard from New Zealand. He's kind of light with his weight, but he's very kind of quick and streaky and slinky. So we'll have to see how he's probably going to be somebody who doesn't make his debut for a couple games. You probably won't see the New Zealand kid play for the Raptors in Summer League until like maybe the game against Denver, probably on Tuesday. So we'll have to see. At power forward, I'm going to start Colin Murray-Boyles, the number 9 pick in the draft this year out of South Carolina. I'm excited to see Colin. He's somebody that we definitely want to really pay closely attention to tonight and see exactly the balance is. Now, all our rookies, Elijah, Chucky, and Colin, are going to be more doting on defense. Like, I don't expect Colin Murray-Boyles to go off and get 20 tonight, but I do want to see him get steals and blocks. I do want to see him get rebounds. That's the kind of stuff I want to see from him first. I know the offensive stuff will come later, but in some ways, we want to see these guys get the baseline of good, steady defense and presence first. Jonathan Mobo is relegated to the backup, even though, you know, in some ways he has more experience than Murray-Boyles, but the prestige of being a number 9 lottery pick will get him to start over Jonathan, I'm guessing. And Jonathan will be the backup big off the bench for the Raptors tonight. And I'm also thinking that Jonathan may be a jack of all trades tonight and be considered the backup point guard also tonight. It'll be very interesting to see how Jonathan is utilized by Coach James Wade. As far as like, is he going to be playing backup big, power forward, center, but also bringing the ball up the court as the backup point guard? Watch out for that. Seriously. David Roddy has been added, as I said before, out of Colorado State. He's a load. He's short, though. And then Tyson Degenhart of Boise State is a power forward shooting specialist who shoots a lot of threes. But it sounds like what Darko said, that he expects Tyson to be on 905 and be around the Raptors for the season coming up. At center, our kid from Cameroon, the Prince, Ulrich Shamshe, will be starting. I'm excited to see where he's progressed to. Darko talking about him yesterday, saying that, you know, Shamshe was doing so well and progressing, and then he got hurt, and that really screwed things up. But he's also predicting that in some ways Ulrich has caught up on the missed time because he's been healthy for a big chunk this summer already. And he's put on more weight, and he's really been working hard to catch up on the time he missed from his injury this past season. So we'll have to gauge where Ulrich Shamshe is in his place after 1 year of the NBA. But he also said, and this is what Darko said, Ulrich is like a 2-year project before he's really going to be showing up for the Raptors. So I think that this was kind of a sign saying, guys, don't expect Shamshe to be rotation for the Raptors this year still. I think that there was a little bit of a saying that by Darko yesterday in his interview, that Shamshe may not be in the rotation for the regular Raptors, but he wants to get him up there at the right pace and the right time, all in its right time, basically. Colin Castleton will be the backup center. For some reason, I'm feeling like Colin's not going to be on the team this year, that he will be cut in training camp, partly because Sandra Mamu's on our team now. And that, I don't know. Some people say, well, we need the depth at center, and maybe we should like really value him to keep. Maybe. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but it could very well be that the Raptors are like, yeah, Castleton, sorry, we don't really feel like you're totally enthusiastic about being on the Raptors for some reason, because I'm not getting those vibes from him. I don't know why. I'm getting weird vibes from Colin Castleton that he's not necessarily that enthusiastic about being a Raptor. which is kind of annoying. Clifford Omeroy on Exhibit 10 out of Alabama and Nigeria. He's going to be interesting and intriguing to watch. As I said, he reminds me a lot of Montrezl Harrell. So you guys will see him play tonight, and he's very strong around the basket. I think he'll play tonight. I think he will, because in some ways we want to see him right away. So yeah, there's the overview of the Raptors Summer League roster and kind of what to expect. A couple of 905 players from last year, and Gary A and Tyreek Key, and of course Castleton and Shamshay and all those other rookies from last year were all on 905 last year. So they have a lot of experience playing together. AJ Lawson's played with Jamal Shed. Jamal Shed's played a lot with Mobo. Mobo's played a lot with Battle. Battle's played a lot with Castleton. So there should be an extra continuity to the Raptors Summer League squad that the other Summer League teams don't necessarily have as deep. So that's why I'm predicting that the Raptors are going to do really, really well, because they need to act like a team that's already been together. A lot of these Summer League teams look in disarray because they're just thrown together in this week. And players that never seen each other in their lives are expected to play together as a team. Well, we have an advantage. We have 9 guys that have all played together already, and we need to utilize that advantage to win. The Raptors need to look way more organized than any of the other Summer League teams. That's what I'm going to say right now. That's a very important goal for tonight. That's right. That's a very, very important goal. That's right. Wayne's saying Booker getting more money than SGA means OKC is doing the right thing. Yeah, that's what that means. SGA is not being overpaid, which means other teammates get theirs. All respect to logical, OKC is being very prudent as best as they can. Yeah, I think the thing that Mike is saying is that the way that they loaded the contracts later years is going to be a problem in a couple years. That he said that the technique that they used with the way they laid out the contracts for Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren could cause problems in like 2 or 3 years for the Oklahoma City Thunder with their salary cap. Is what all he was trying to point out was on there. Isaac Campbell saying, I hope a second-round pick wins the Rookie of the Year this season. That would be weird. I mean, it's not unheard of. I think it's happened before, but very, very rare. Very, very rare. I don't know. I think Cooper Flagg is obviously the favorite to win it just because of the overblown hype machine around him. But who knows? I'd love to see somebody else get it just for weirdness and kind of like, oh, I didn't predict that. This guy got it instead. You know, that'd be cool. Maybe it's somebody like Dylan Harper for the Spurs. I don't know. It could be a lot of different people. Stargate saying, funny how I brought up the same issue about contracts being based on production the other day and got a huge pushback. But it's okay. I'm with you on this, Kareem. All right. Trevor's saying, I will see Raptors live tonight. Man, you're so privileged and just lucky. Trevor J is living that life, man. He's just he's got such beautiful abundance in his life. In some ways, you know why Trevor has that abundance in his life? Because he understands it and he appreciates it and he allows it into his life. Some people get in the way of their own abundance because they can't see past their limitations of what they can see. But Trevor, he sees all things can be possible. And well, he saw that Summer League was coming up and it could be possible for him to get on a plane and go to Nevada. And so he did. That's the thing. He dares to. And that's why Trevor lives such an amazing life. I appreciate you, Trevor. You're a role model to me in some ways, man. You really are a role model to me. Fiercely saying, what time is the game at tonight? I missed the first minutes of the stream. The game will start at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight, Fiercely. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Mountain time, I guess that's 6 p.m. or something like that. 6 p.m. for Seymour and them. So, yeah, it's 8 p.m. for us. Blackhawks saying Devin Booker can have a higher salary than SGA. He doesn't have the chip. That's right. That's right. I mean, people can overpay people all kinds of different ways. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. You can compare it and stuff like that. It makes Oklahoma City look good. Wayne's right. It makes them look good. Stargate saying at Wayne, logical, our resident capologist says OKC is making a mistake. They're messing up their future. Laugh out loud. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. We'll have to see if Mike's right down the road, but our capologist is laughing at the deals that they just did. That's right. G saying Ingram spotting in Vegas and he's cleared for contact. Yeah, he's been cleared since May on the down low, guys. It's not that he's been cleared for contact, but he's been working out and getting a lot in. I'm telling you, it's a really big, good sign that Brandon Ingram's been spotted in Vegas with the team already. He is committed. He is trying his best to get himself completely okay and ready for the Raptors season. And he's ensconced. He's there. He's embedded with the team. And he's with the coaches. And he's familiar with everybody. He's enjoying it. I think he's very much enjoying the routine and the structure of the Toronto Raptors franchise and what they're working with him on. In some ways, we may be way more in depth and involved than the Pelicans were, guys. The Pelicans may be very laissez-faire and kind of lax about being involved in players' lives other than official player stuff. But with Brandon, I'm sure that Darko and Bobby and the rest of the Raptors have given him itineraries and schedules, and he kind of looks at it and he's like, man, this is fun because this is actually giving me some structure to get my ankle right, to get me back on track, to get my career back. So he's excited. He's working towards something. He's enthusiastic, and his presence is a big sign that he is fully bought in. You know, the old NBA guys in the NBA would not do stuff that they didn't have to do. And I don't know if it's totally optional or mandatory that Brandon Ingram is in Vegas right now. But if he had the chance to not be there because he has the choice and he didn't show up, that would tell you a lot, right? But he has the chance to be there, and he's been asked to be there, and he is there. And that tells you a lot in the other way. That's what I say about that. As far as with Brandon Ingram, that's right. Kenne's here. Good to see our guy Kenne checking in. Original Raptor freak Kenne. Excited about today's game. Yeah, me too, man. I've been jonesing for some basketball, and we got some Raptors basketball tonight, 8 p.m. Let's go. Stargate saying 33% drop in road travel to the U.S. from Canada and 22% drop in air travel to the U.S. Yeah, it's they're idiots. They really are idiots. I mean, I've talked to many people in everyday life around Toronto and Canada, here in Ontario, and a whole bunch of people have canceled their trips to the United States this year, and they don't want to go. They don't want to come there. In fact, there's people in the United States I'm hearing that are canceling trips that their family members had to come to see them, and they're going to meet each other in other countries. The tourism for Canada is getting a boon from this. A lot of Europeans and other people from around the world are coming to Canada instead of going to the United States. And the place where they're really going to feel the effect of this shit is with the World Cup and the Olympics. It's going to be a disaster. If the world does not change in the United States in the next couple of years, the World Cup and the Olympics are going to be a total disaster and failure. They're going to be a failure. The Olympics especially. The World Cup's coming up a little quicker, and maybe there's a little bit of more ticket sales already done and different things happen with that. But the Olympics is not totally set up yet, and they're going to do really bad. In fact, I'll bet the IOC is kind of scrambling to how to deal with this PR nightmare that MAGA America is for the Olympic Games that are supposed to go down in Los Angeles in a couple of years. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. But in some ways, we want to see in real time how boycotts and people making decisions to tell you, I don't approve of what you're doing, can have an effect on world affairs. And, well, this is the thing. The world, in a lot of ways, understands what's right and wrong. And people understand going to the United States is not right at this point. Stay the fuck away from that fascist state. That's right. There you go. Kaloy saying, morning, Lex and Raptor Freak fam. Stargate, you were right. Flagg reminds me of a defensive Keith Van Horn. Yes, Kaloy. Yes. All right. I'm going to give Kaloy a dunk for this. He's so hilarious. He came in and said he reminds him of a defensive Keith Van Horn. I love it. Kaloy. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. I would kiss Santino for this. So good. So good. 58 for Kaloy. I love it. Carlo JS. You're a man. You're the man, bro. I love it. He said that. He said that. That's right. He's a good overall player that does the right things, but is not generational. Yeah. Yeah. I think they just put a little extra special on his skin tone. That's all it is here, man. Maybe they got all sentimental and patriotic because his name's Flagg. Oh, I love the flag. It just reminds me of being American. Cooper Flagg. It's such an American name, America. And they just upped his value. And, you know, they kind of just, yeah, he's just got to be good because he's white and he's American and his name's Flagg. So he's going to be real good. Real good. I feel like that is how partly he got bumped up because his name is a G.I. Joe character's name. It's like his name is Flagg, Cooper Flagg. It's like that. He's like a G.I. Joe character. Seriously, man. Here we go. We got Randolph in the house. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. What's driving you to go forward with hope and anticipation? I hope it's your value, your worth, your purpose, and need to help transform lives. Do all you can. Beautiful. This has been a common sentiment from Randolph Phillipson's Words of Wisdom recently, because in some ways he's making a plea out to all of us to do what we can in our own little neck of the world to make the world a better place. There may be some macro level fascism going on right now, but we can have micro level kindness and gentleness and humanity in all kinds of respects. And we have power to do this in the sphere of our influence. So I say once again, and implored by Randolph Phillips with me, do good unto others in your life, and more good will come into this world. And as you do more good, we microtransaction to a macro level to where it really does affect the world, because there's so many of us doing it on low levels that it really does magnify and make the world a better place. Blessings to the Phillips family always, and all the Raptor Freak families. And I thank you, Randolph, for your messages, because now more than ever, we need them. Now more than ever. That's right. Smooth is saying, I give credit to OKC to locking up their core. They know that they will very soon be dealing with the second apron, but if they get one or two more chips before then, it'll be worth it. That's actually a sound, true strategy that I'll agree with. That they got to get it while they can. Getting is good, and in some ways, they can justify bloating their salary and going over the second apron if they're a dynasty and they've got the chips and the economics driving into the team also. So yeah, this is a sound thing that Reggie's saying here. I agree with him. But there's no guarantees on this, and it could fail. That's the thing. If they don't get the second cup, what happens if they invest overly in these guys and do this? It's going to be a big, big problem. And that's where Mike's kind of talking about with his capology assessment of the recent extensions done by Sam Presti and the Oklahoma City Thunder. So yeah, if it doesn't work, if they don't get that second chip, it's going to look like a big, expensive mistake. And that's the thing. This league is really going to get tough to win multiple championships. I'm telling you, it's like walking a tightrope to get to that. Trevor's saying, me and 15 friends are going to the game tonight, and we will be here in Vegas for all the Raptor games. There you go. That's a real one. Trevor's going to be there for over a week, hanging out in Vegas. Oh, what a quandary. What a labor for Trevor to be in Vegas for a week to watch the Raptors play in Summer League live. Oh, my gosh. So envious. So envious. If I wasn't on a travel ban to go to the States, I might have come down there too. Nah, I wouldn't have. You can't get me to go in the United States right now. You couldn't pay me enough money. That's right. You couldn't pay me enough money to go across the border right now. No. G saying Cooper seems like a really good glue guy. He's only 18 years old, but seems like a mature young man. That is one of the reasons why they really like him, is because he's already shown like certain kind of wisdom at his age. But yeah, what if he's like Scott? What if he's not a scorer and he's just going to hook everybody else up? And then all of a sudden Mavericks fans are calling him a loser because he's like not playing harder and averaging 30 points a game. What if that is what happens with him? He's more like Scotty Barnes, and he's a glue guy, and he does a lot of intangibles, and he connects people, and he gets rebounds, and he blocks shots. He does a little bit like what he did last night, and he's not really shooting a whole lot. Well, how will Mavericks fans paint him then? Would he win the Rookie of the Year like that? Maybe. Scotty did. So we'll have to see. Randolph saying, Lex, Mavs Cooper Flagg calls the NBA Summer League debut one of the worst games of my life. He thought it was one of the worst games of his life. And that may be because he shot so poorly. 5 of 21, Randolph. 5 of 21 from the field. So he took a lot of shots and he missed a lot of shots. And when you miss shots in basketball, you look bad. He made 5 and he missed what? 16? He missed 16 and he only made 5 shots. Yeah, that's not a good percentage. I like that he's taking accountability and saying that was one of the worst games of my entire life. Well, welcome to the NBA. You're at Summer League. This isn't even the full speed or size of what you're going to be dealing with come around October and November, Cooper Flagg. So you better be ready. This is your introduction, and this is the low level. Yeah, get that bad game out of the way. Let's see how you bounce back in the next one. Let's see what happens. Trevor J saying that the Oklahoma City Thunder are spending $822 million on 3 players. Yeah. Jalen, Chet, and Shea. Where's the money for Luguetz? Where's the money for Caruso? Where's the money for the rest of the team? Can you even field the team after that, Sam Presti? Or are you just going to keep bringing in new rookies every year that are cheap? And that's how you're going to do it. I think that's probably how. G saying he is not selfish on the court and plays both sides. No idea what his ceiling is. He's only 18, but like his personality, I don't like or listen to the media. They're full of it and usually wrong. Yeah, they're overhyping him, and maybe we're sullying him too much here. I'll get it. Sure. Stargate and I are kind of haters. And I'm okay with that. I don't mind the hater label. People are such haters towards us sometimes. We need some of that haterade going the other way. And in some ways, I've decided to be a hater towards the Mavericks for doing their fans so wrong with the trade of Luka Doncic. And then I'm hating on the NBA for handing them the first pick in the draft and them getting Cooper Flagg. So in some ways, I have animosity towards Cooper, and it's not even his fault. It's because of the Mavericks and the stupid ass shit of Nico Harrison and different stuff like that. I don't want them to be successful, to be rewarded for a shitty ass GM and owner and what they did to the Mavericks franchise. So in some ways, it's not that I directly hate Cooper Flagg. It's that I hate his owners for the team. And I really hate the GM too. So in some ways, he's just in the line of fire is basically what it is. So yeah, that's what it is right there. And I'm sullying him probably more than he deserves. You're right. You're right. Wayne said first game for Flagg proves or diminishes nothing. That kid is good player, slightly ahead of most, not paying attention to the media. But what I saw for the first time last night, his hoops are insane. See, so Wayne's approving, even though Cooper said he had one of his worst games ever in his life. Well, that's interesting, man. That's very, very interesting. Well, I want to see more. This is only the first one, and I'm sure he's going to look way better in the next game, too, guys. Kaloy saying, no doubt he's going to be good, but not generational. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a little overblown. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. G saying, I think VJ Edgecombe could be something special. He has an it thing for me, but we will see. Don't want that for the Sixers. Yeah, I mean, if he comes in and he plays really well, that's because of the work he did before. We know Nick Nurse ain't going to develop him further. And, well, he does seem really talented from the early summer league leagues where the Sixers had him out there. He was playing. He didn't play in this game last night against the Spurs where they got blown out. They probably needed him. Trust me, though. They probably needed him. Stargate #1 top fan right now. I see. Remember, Koloko missed a year with those blood clots. He had a setback. Lakers don't do development, so Koloko should not have gone there after. Yeah, they didn't bring him back up to speed or catch him up. In fact, he's regressed, and his career is going down the tubes, honestly. He's in big trouble. He's in big trouble. He's not guaranteed with the Lakers, and the Lakers aren't that good, and they very much need big men on their team. They do. I mean, they just signed what? DeAndre Ayton as their starter? Man, there's something wrong here. Something's wrong with Koloko. And I don't get it, man. How did y'all fumble him so bad? The Raptors had him looking pretty good his rookie year. But man, he's looked the best during his rookie year with the Raptors. And ever since then, he's looked like crap. Something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. I hope it's not just because of the health issues. Seriously. Kareem saying, bring Koloko home. Everybody deserves a second chance. I don't know if that'll happen. You know, I don't know if that's partly because of Ujiri's departure. I don't know if that's partly because, been there, done that. That's a part of my past. I'm not trying to go back there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Koloko. I would love for him to come back, but in some ways, I don't totally trust him to come back either because he did kind of shit out on us already, right? He kind of did already blow our trust by taking off to the Lakers in the first place. Let's see. Smooth saying, well, CK lost 2 years of development, blood clot, and 1 year with the G League squad. Really up against it now. Yeah, it's too bad. In some ways, it is what it is. It is what it is. G saying, in regards to Koloko, do we know if the Raptors even offered him a contract? Maybe they didn't, and that's why he left. That could be true also. I have no idea. Maybe Bobby knew he's washed already. Like maybe he already knew, even with the health issue, he's like, man, it doesn't matter. Like he was already a tight project with like the schedule and getting him on track as a center and a big man. And this lost time because of the sit out, because of his medical, and then like the spin of his wheels on the G League Lakers, South Beach Lakers or whatever. You know, it's just where it is. I think he would have caught up better coming back here. But maybe Bobby already said, yeah, you're a waste of time at this point. And you know what? We can't. We don't have room for you. And we don't, in some ways, it's not happening. I don't know. That may be true. But who knows? It could. I don't know. The verbiage from Rich Paul and Christian after he got medically cleared sounded like he didn't want to come back here. It's not that we didn't offer. It sounded like he had already made up his mind because he made a little mental slip. He says, I'm looking forward to the next place that I'm going to. And this was before he said later, it's like, oh yeah, if I was asked to come back to Toronto, I would come back to there. But he said before that, he said it very explicitly. You can tell on yourself, Koloko. You got to watch out. I'm looking forward to going to the next place. He said that. So I don't think it was the Raptors not extending to him. I think he had already decided with Rich they were leaving Toronto, and that's their own damn fault. So he's saying at G, Doug Smith reported back then that Koloko was done with the Raptors, wasn't coming back. Yeah, that's part of it there too. It was the word verbiage. He told a newspaper in Arizona. He was talking to his old college town, and he said, "Yes, I'm looking forward to getting cleared by the NBA and joining a new team." He said a new team. And that, well, his old team was the Raptors. So he was saying that at that point, yeah, he's not coming back. Fiercely saying, I hope AJ Lawson doesn't get cut. I hope so too. I hope so too. Stargate saying, again, nobody's questioning whether Flagg is a good player or not. He is a good player. He has talent. However, he is not generational. This was my gripe. How he was being touted by the basketball media. Yeah. Overhype. And I agree with them. I agree with them on this. Let's see. G saying that shows his decision making is not the best. Then Noah's agency failed him. That's too bad. When you are just in the league, the right decisions are key. Why would anyone go to Lakers to develop? Yeah, I feel like it was very selfish of LeBron James and Rich Paul to try and shore up the center depth for the Lakers by using the young man Christian's career. And I feel like this is something they've done to a few players where there's clutch clients, right? There's main clutch clients like LeBron or maybe even Fred. We could say him that are huge high end that get a lot of treatment by Rich and his people. But there's been many stories where clutch clients that are secondary or low level or mid games players or even players like Koloko, and they've been mismanaged. They've been ignored. There was one case where there was a player, I forget what his name was. He was the big man. What's his name? Oh, crap. I'm forgetting his name. He was on Dallas as a center and then on the Lakers. They totally missed some deadlines for him, and they cost him millions of dollars because they weren't doing the job for the lower end clients that they had in clutch. And well, this may be just another symptom of clutch mismanaging lower end players. If I was a lower end player, a player who's not a huge superstar, I would not sign with clutch because they have shown that they ignore and don't help those kind of clients in a way that's helpful to them. And I think Koloko is one of them. And what was his name? Christian Wood. That's the guy right there. Christian Wood. He was mismanaged by clutch also. And he was brought to the Lakers just to appease this need for a center on the Lakers, but next to LeBron. And it's a very similar thing to what happened to Christian. Very, very similar thing right there. That's right. Smooth saying, I don't think the Raps should take a chance on Christian, man. He's way behind now. Project. We already have Ulrich. I would even argue that this is crazy, but Shamshe is ahead of Koloko right now. I would even argue that. I mean, we'll get more of evidence of this tonight. Well, we're going to see where Shamshe is, and you guys might be really impressed. In fact, if Shamshe does certain things tonight, I could see him actually busting through that 2-year window that Darko described yesterday and actually making the rotation. In some ways, it's like Darko wants to test him and see where he's at. He's stronger. He's smarter. He's not a green ass rookie that came in last year like an 18-year-old, didn't know anything about this continent even. And now he's got a year under him. He's savvy. He's going to be coming in with a little bit more understanding of what he needs to be doing out there. And his coach from 905 is going to be there, Andrew Jones, helping guide him and getting him on the right path, man. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be very interesting. I think Shamshe may be ahead of Koloko in his development now, which is crazy, which is absolutely crazy. M. Jones is saying, Lex, what kind of year do you project for Mobo this year? What do you want to see that's different from last year? You know, in some ways, I'm sorry to say, but I think Mobo is going to be one of the odd men out. That with the health of Brandon Ingram and some of the additions that we've added, like Sandro Mamu and Colin Murray-Boyles, Jonathan Mobo may be into the bench and not playing as much on the regular Raptors. Now, he got a very good rookie year. He got a lot of time, but in some ways, there was a lot of time for him to be had because there were more injuries last year. Knock on wood. We don't want no injuries with the Raptors this year. So in some ways, I don't want to see Jonathan Mobo on the court as much this year because that means we've been hurt. Now, I know he's going to be going to 905 a lot, and he should. And he needs to go down there and continue to get better and better down there. That's his best path to a regular rotation spot on the Raptors in the right way. Last year, he was rotation for sure, but there were reasons why. This year, there's no guarantee he's going to be rotation. So I would embrace the G League very heavily this year, Jonathan. because that is your key to sticking around the NBA long term. You've got to show progress down there and maybe even dominate the G League. We got to think about what Pascal Siakam and Chris Boucher did in G League in certain years. You need to have a year like that, man. If you have a year in G League like Chris Boucher had when he was the defensive player and the MVP of the G League in the same year, you will get something like what Chris Boucher got. So that's your path right there, Jonathan. You have to have an amazing G League season where you're like a G League All-Star. And if you do that, you'll have a much better path. But right now, there's people in your way now. They're going to have to give Murray Boyles a lot of minutes on the big club because they really want to see what he can do. And he's a lottery pick. He's a 9th pick. And guys like Sandra Mamu are going to come in and take that backup center stuff. So I fully expect Jonathan to be even more heavy on 905 and maybe less on the Raptors than he was last year. And it's just because we're healthier and the competition on our team is way tougher, way, way, way more tougher. Wayne saying, Raptor freaks, y'all need to stop the Koloko nonsense. He was a talent that unfortunately health issues sidelined his career. Toronto is not his home. James Wade as coach is a brilliant move by Darko. Yeah, I'm excited because in some ways, James Wade has championship experience with the Chicago Sky and the WNBA. He's coached the team to a championship. So I want to see him coach the Raptors to a summer league championship this summer. He has a winning way to him, Coco. And I want to see Coach Coco coach this team to the top of Summer League in Vegas. That's right. That's what the goal is here. And James Wade is a winning coach. He's a bona fide winning coach, a champion coach for the WNBA's Chicago Sky. So that's what we want to see in that. Yeah. Kareem saying, Stargate, he's a good player, but I'm not pitching the horse in front of the wagon or the wagon in front of the horse, however that saying goes. You're not putting the wagon in front of the horse. You got to do things in the right order, is what you're saying. And it's too soon to say certain things about Cooper Flagg. That's right. G saying, I'm all in on Ulrich developing. He seems committed and dedicated to his development from what I see. Yeah, he's fun, man. Like some of the clips that I've seen with him lately, he's really kind of feeling like one of the guys. Last year he kind of seemed like an outsider. His energy was a little bit like, I'm foreign and I'm not totally used to the culture and the world over here. I'm a farm boy who lived in a family of like 20 siblings and worked the fields and was very rural and agrarian, very humble lifestyle. And this whole thing with the NBA, it could have been overwhelming in some ways for him. But now he in training camp and summer league right now, he seems very bonded with his teammates and his guys. Of course, he knows Quincy, he knows Tyreek, he knows Jonathan, Jameson, Jacoby. These are all guys that he's very familiar with and being around for last year. So he seems like he's a lot more at ease and comfortable and a little bit more playful and happy. Of course, we saw the clip of Ulrich Shamshay practicing boxing recently. And man, his arms look very strong and tough. I'm really, really intrigued by what we're going to see from Shamshay tonight. Seriously, I'm very, very intrigued by it. He may be the one that I think we should all watch very, very closely. Him and Murray Boyles, those two guys, and of course, Walter. We want to see what Walter is doing too, man. Walter is doing. That's right. Let's see. Kareem saying at Wayne, Clutch Sports made Koloko homeless. He had a place here. I don't know if it's Clutch. It could very well be the medical. The medical thing absolutely messed him up. If that was some diabolical plan by Rich Paul in the NBA to get Christian Koloko off the Raptors, well, it worked, but at the detriment of the man himself, Christian, which is too bad. It's way too bad. It's very sad. Fiercely saying Orlando Robinson was a good fit with the team and respect the energy and vibes. If Castleton ain't bought in, O-Rob should have been kept, but we can't make those decisions for front office. Yeah, it seems like Orlando Robinson really enjoyed being a Raptor and being on our team way more than Colin Castleton, just from vibes is what I'm getting. And, well, things can be still changed. You know what? I will pitch this, MJ. What if it is that the Raptors already understand what they got with Orlando? They don't need to investigate him. In some ways, he may be an ace up our sleeve because he is not on any team right now. He is floating as a free agent. And it could very well be we do some shaking up of things around training camp in October, and all of a sudden somebody like Orlando Robinson or even Chris Boucher is still retained and on our team by that time. I'm really surprised at how much Chris has not been talked about in free agency and that he has not gone anywhere. And if it really gets to a bad place, could the Raptors re-sign Chris Boucher for like a $2 million contract for this season? I'll bet you he would do that, and just to stay in the league, even if it's way less money than what he thought. He has to see what happened to his friend Gary Trent Jr. in the last couple of years and realize that it may be just like this. It may be just like this. So even though we have certain players around our team right now, the fact that Bobby Webster could shuffle up things a little bit in October around our training camp is very real. And there may be a face or a name that we don't think will be involved comes back around. And if Colin Castleton's got half-assed being a Raptor, I fully endorse bringing Orlando Robinson back for depth for the Raptors instead, for sure. Kareem's saying OKC will be a dumpster fire in a couple years. He wants that as a Nuggets fan. We have to preface that this is Nuggets fans speaking through Kareem right here. Orlando Robinson should be a Raptor. I think so too. I think so too. He just had his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday once again to Orlando for your birthday yesterday. Let's see. M. Jones is saying, and lastly, what do you project with Darko moving forward? Is the spotlight on him and can potentially be on the outs as well? I think that look, coaching isn't all just wins. Coaching is like progress. Coaching is confidence in that coach and what they're doing. And none of this has changed with him. He's shown a progress of an upward curve going up. And, Darko has a lot more confidence in him than you would think. The fans are stupid. The fans are always saying dumb stuff. Half of them are not really our fans. They're other people from other nations trying to pull us apart. Just like I told the Knicks to fire Thibodeau, and they did. I laughed about that because that was gaslighting. I knew that if the Knicks fired Thibodeau, that would be a bad move for them. So half the time when we hear people derisively talking about Darko, those are our enemies wanting to pull us apart and make us in a bad place to try and figure it out. A couple of years ago, we were in a really good place. We had Nick, we had Masai, and we were like really bona fide people in those positions that were absolutely top notch and everything. But they pulled Nick out of there with Daryl Morey and his bullshit. And now Ed Rogers has fired Masai. And those positions are kind of shaky. Although Darko's done a good job in the first 2 years building competency and confidence in him. Now, the people that don't like him are just idiots that think championship or bust and feel like we've been wasting our time with him because we're not winning enough. But they don't realize we probably wouldn't have won with anybody coaching our team right now. The whole thing about Darko is he building a good culture? Is he building something for the future? Do the players believe in him? Do they like the system? Do we see things that are happening with it going in the right direction? And that's all yes. In fact, he has the best culture the Raptors have ever had for a team right now, as far as the vibes and the connectiveness and just like the unselfishness. Most of the time, there's some selfishness on an NBA team, whether it's people competing for the same spot or roster or rotation. And, there's usually some underlying stuff. There's not with the Raptors. They are very much all for one and one for all. And that is directly attributed to the leadership of Darko. So nothing's wrong with what he's doing. Casuals will say different things about, they think he should be off the team because of his coaching record. But everything else is gravy. And what's the way it works is like with Casey, when he coached us, he had a couple of bad seasons and then boom, he was making us go into the playoffs every single year. And I think this year's the year where Rajakovic coaches the Raptors in the playoffs for the first time. And he'll have a similar pattern to Dwayne Casey, and that we're going to build and build over the next few years. And who knows where we get to: Eastern Conference finals, championship. That's the whole goal, right? So we gotta, this is the thing. I always tell people, just because you hire a coach and they lose right at the beginning, doesn't mean they're a bad coach. They have to establish what they're doing, and we need time to see it through. The teams that are on coaching carousels where they fire a coach because of impatience every couple of years, they're the teams that never get anywhere, and they continue to be shitty year in and year out. You have to have patience with the coach, and this is a great coach. And everybody who says they don't like Darko and things go, I lose a respect for you because you really aren't paying attention or watching. So I personally don't think Darko's in any trouble. I think that as long as he gets a higher win total than he did last year, which is 30, he's going to be fine because he's showing progress. And that's all we can ask for him. The progress to build a team up to a championship is arduous and takes some time. And impatient fans can say, I hate Darko because we lose too much under him. Yeah, but you're not seeing the whole picture or understanding how it works is what I'm saying on that. Kareem saying, what's a better contract? Emmanuel Quickly 5 years at $175 million, or Jalen Williams 5 years at 287 million. That's crazy. That's a lot more than what Emmanuel's making. And in some ways, I could see Emmanuel making a huge leap as a player this year, and everybody being like, whoa, they'll flip on this. Everybody's saying Emmanuel's contract's too high for him right now. That's because they are not anticipating how much he's going to grow as a point guard, as a starter on the Raptors. And he's going to show it this year. If he has a healthy year this year, and know this about Quickly, last year was the most injured year he's ever had in his entire life. He's never missed that many games at any point in his life, whether it's high school, college, or the NBA. So in some ways, you can't gauge anything on what Emmanuel did last year as far as whether he's worth his contract. If he's healthy this year and we see him really get on a roll, everybody's going to be saying he's on an amazing deal in the next year or so. It's going to flip exactly to the opposite. Everybody's going to say, holy crap, Emmanuel's contract looks so good. And Bobby Webster will look like a genius at that point. Trust me, guys. Him and Masai will look like geniuses. I'm telling you right now, man. Stargate saying, you guys know that China is already gearing up to take on the Olympics if the U.S. becomes an issue. They're kind of planning on the down low. I did not know that. And I'm not surprised by this. You know, China has a lot of human rights violations. It's not like China's perfect or anything. They got some real issues, Hong Kong and things like that, Taiwan. But listen, they may be the better alternative for the Olympics than the United States. That's just how much of a dumpster fire and how much Donald Trump has run that country into the ground. That, you know, other international countries might be thinking, yeah, we'd rather go to China and do the Olympics in China. That's interesting that they're all gearing up for this just in case. You know, China just has their shit together in all kinds of different ways better than a lot of the rest of the world, and especially on renewable energy. You know, there's such a horrible propaganda push by the oil companies in this continent to hold down electric cars, to hold down solar and wind energy, because they're scared. They know that their game is up, and they can continue to dupe people with misinformation and lies about what renewables can actually power and all this stuff. The arguments about nuclear versus renewables are insane too. There's a lot of idiots that have a lot of money involved in this, and they are trying to lie to the public. There are already all kinds of ways of doing solar energy and wind energy that are absolutely viable, and they are going to be done in other places. If North America is behind on oil and getting rid of it, they're going to be behind on everything in the world, and the rest of the world will be ahead and will be cleaner, and we'll be looking like prehistoric cavemen on this continent, because we've had the oil companies lying to us and holding down the changes that we should be making, that India and China are, and they are absolutely way ahead of us. So yeah, y'all want to be slowed down by the oil companies paying for misinformation with lobbyists and trying to make y'all believe that renewables cannot be done? Well, they're lying because they want to continue their game with oil, and they will say anything to lie to you, to continue to make you believe that oil is the only way to go. They're lying to you. Trust me. It's going to happen either way. And in fact, it's accelerated in the last couple of years. And we're going to be way behind if we don't start building the infrastructure that's anti-oil, off of oil, and more in wind and solar directions. I'm telling you right now. And nuclear is not the option either. Natural gas, not the option either. We need clean, renewable energy because the rest of the world is going there and they're ahead of us, and we're going to have to catch up. We're going to have to catch up. That's right. And it's all the oil companies' fault. They use all their profits to put out a whole bunch of propaganda and bullshit. They're paying bots on social media, on like Facebook. And any post that's about clean energy, they're going in and they're putting bots in there like crazy, making it seem like it's a bad idea. They are scared. The oil companies are scared as hell because in some ways they know this world's about to change and how it gets its energy. And they are a thing of the past. And they really are. They're going to be a thing of the past no matter what. It's just that they're on that last grasp of holding on to the bitter end. And they're really, really pouring it on thick with the bullshit and propaganda. In fact, I've heard some of y'all come in here and echo some of their talking points that are absolutely wrong. And just realize the rest of the world's ahead. We need to get going. We need to get going. And that's why I drive a hybrid car. I know that this is the change that's coming. And I'll tell you right now, my electric vehicle is amazing. I pay $70 for my fuel a month. $70 I can drive, and I drive to the city like every week, twice a week. I can drive around for a month on $70 because I have an electric truck. You going to tell me that's not the future? It's just that these oil companies love their racket and they want to continue to make that money. I'm telling you right now. Let's keep going. Kaloy's saying, is it really the championship bump? We really can't question the contract because he won as a second banana. OKC will keep their big three and then reload the rest with their picks. Yeah, that's probably right. Listen, every time a team wins a championship, there's targets on their people. I've said this a couple times in the last couple weeks. Assistant coaches for the Thunder will be sought out and tried to get hired away. Their secondary players that aren't their big contract players that they just extended will get lured away for more money in other places that Oklahoma City cannot match. People like Bruce Brown leaving Denver Nuggets after their championship. I'm just saying they won't have the same exact feel. And there may be some tough decisions, not with the top players on the Thunder, but the middle of the pack players, people like Luguetz Dort could be very much available in the near future. And hell, I wouldn't love him to be in Toronto Raptors. Oh, yeah, I would. I'd love to see Luguetz show up in a Toronto Raptors jersey at some point. And he may very well be free soon because of this kind of stuff. That's right. Cooper's like Scotty. You said it last year that Cooper's like Scotty. There you go. All right, you want kudos for that, G. Original Raptor Freak Trivia Champion G is going to get a kudos dunk for this one because he wants credit for saying that Cooper Flagg's like Scotty. All right, let's see. 48 on the dunk chart for G. There you go. Chloe saying, I love the hating self-awareness. I'm going to be a hater too. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, that's funny. That's funny, man. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. I lost my place. Hang on. Let me see. Where are we here? Wayne saying, don't see Castleton as a Raptor. Koloko is an adult. Can't blame Rich Paul. If he gave him bad advice, you can. I'm going to say this right now. Rich Paul is advising these young men, and some of them are not the most intelligent. I'm not going to say that Christian's a dumb guy, but in some ways, he's a kid from Cameroon, and he's trusting Rich to help him with his career. Well, I don't know. If I was him in hindsight, when he's an older man, he may look back and say, I shouldn't have trusted Rich Paul so much. He may look back and say that when he's on the rocking chair later on in age. I'm telling you right now. Kareem, you have visions of delusion. OKC has won a chip. How can they be a potential dumpster? Are we a dumpster fire too? I'm just saying that, look, the way the pattern is going is you win a championship in the NBA right now, and you have a fall no matter what afterwards. I mean, look at the Celtics now. Look at what happened with the Celtics, just and how they touted them after they won. We all really, truly believed the Celtics were about to reel off like 3 championships in a row, right? I didn't believe it because I knew the reality. But a lot of people in the media and everybody was just saying, yeah, the Celtics are just set up to win now for years. And look what happened. How quickly this all unraveled for them. If that can happen to Celtics like that, a team that is coveted by the NBA to be a top team, it can happen to any team. And even if it looks like the Thunder with their younger core and the way that their age bracket is, this could still happen to them in a weird way. Trust me, because it's just how it is. I don't think that OKC is a dumpster fire, but in some ways, like Mike said, I think that the extensions they made may be a dumpster fire in a couple of years from now. Is what we're saying. Kaloy saying, yeah, gee, those were reasonable comps. Pascal or Scotty for Cooper. I don't know if that, I don't know. I'm like, man, don't be comparing Cooper to Scotty in a way too. I'm a little insulted by that. Let's see. Blackhawk saying Koloko needs to push for the G League to get minutes. He has not played B-ball long enough to withstand his lack of playing time. He needs more G League. Stargate saying, didn't OG fire Clutch? OG went with Omar to Octagon, and it's just that his agent changed from Clutch to Octagon. He liked his agent, so he just went with him. That's what it was. Kareem saying at Wayne, have you ever handcuffed yourself for stealing a chocolate bar at the checkout of a grocery store? Sam Presti doubled down on contracts, but he's riding a high. Denver went through it as well. Yep. It's just the way the new structure is. They don't want dynasties. They really didn't like the Cleveland versus Golden State all through the 2010s. And Adam Silver's made sure that this cannot happen again. And in some ways, this is what manifests. But the great news is we get a fresh new champion every year. And I'm not against that. I like it being fresh and new every year and not just penciled in that Oklahoma City Thunder is going to repeat as champions. They have a chance, and they probably do have the best chance to win the championship right now out of all of the 30 NBA teams. But I like the difference, and the different teams have been winning the championship every year since we won the championship. I like that. I like that a lot. That's right. Kaloy saying, remember how good Scotty was when playing with Pascal? We're going to see that again and even better with him playing with Ingram. So excited. I'm excited about that too. That's what you meant. Okay. All right. I got to get going, man. I'm going to get through these. Stargate saying, we all want the best for Shamshay, but if Darko says he needs one more year before called up permanently, then I'm going to go with what he says. We got to remember, Shamshay's only 19. And he's so young and green, but he's coming along. And I think even though he missed time from his injury, he's made up for it. And he's caught back up. Well, we'll have to see tonight. We'll know for tonight. Wayne saying, my opinion is that Raptors freaks tend to yap from both sides of our mouths, like every cohort. OKC is paying for results. Isn't that we are, hang on. Isn't that we are, stupid thing calling me. Isn't that we are all say players getting paid for outcome. OKC is doing just that. Listen, we've got a varied group in here. Our secondary allegiances aren't the same. And one way is, Kareem talking about Oklahoma City, that's as a Nuggets fan. Now, some of us are OKC fans, and we may talk from their perspective. But in some ways, that's part of what's going on here is what that. Coach Rose saying, could Coach Wade be Tempo's first head coach? That's a really interesting idea. Dan Rowe, I'm going to give you a dunk. I don't even know if you're on the dunk charts, Dan, but you're getting one right now because that is a really intriguing idea I haven't thought about at all. So I'm going to give Dan Rowe his first dunk ever. I think that this is a possibility maybe, but I don't know. Maybe the Raptors will be kind of proprietary and saying, no, he's our assistant coach and you guys aren't actually with us and you can't interview him because we like him here. I don't know. Would James Wade want that movement? Because he's already done that. He's coached and GM'd a WNBA team. So he's not going to be the GM because Monica's the GM. So he would only be the coach. So that would be a real step down, I think, from going from assistant coach of the Raptors to being the head coach of the Tempo, because he's already been a head coach of the Sky, but he was also the GM at the same time too. So I don't see this happening, Dan, just because of Monica Rogers Wright and also the fact that MLSE owns the Raptors and Kilmer Group owns the Tempo. So I don't see this happening. I think that it'd be better if Teresa Resch hires a female coach for start. I think that that's very likely too, that it will be a female coach for the Tempo first. Trevor saying, we all going to the Rod Stewart show on Saturday night. Infatuation. Whoa, whoa. Forever young. Yes, Rod Stewart. I seen Rod Stewart when I worked at Scotiabank Arena, got paid to see him. And it was weird. There were some people that were showing up at the Rod Stewart concert dressed up as Rod Stewart. Like, that's weird when fans like try and dress up like the person they're going to see. It's weird, man. Like, I'd be at Arena getting ready for the show and Cher's playing. And there's all Cher lookalikes coming through, male and female, coming through and saying, hi, I'm Cher. I'm like, yeah, you're not Cher. You're not Cher, but you look like Cher. You're like, yeah. But yeah, there'll be some lookalikes, maybe some Rod Stewart lookalikes at your concert, Trevor J. That's cool. You're going to see Rod Stewart. He's up there. I'm going to tell you right now, Trevor, be ready. You might be surprised when you see him because he's up there. Let's just put it that way. He's up there. Yeah, Kareem saying, Lex, why you got a travel ban? I'm interested. Might need a Lex story time. No, I'm banning myself from traveling to the United States. I don't got no travel ban from the United States. I can go there if I want to. I'm banning myself from going there. That's what the ban is. Yeah, I don't have no trouble down there. No outstanding warrants. None of that. They may look at my Facebook and say, yeah, you're going to Trump jail for being a lefty. That may be what they do. That may be what they do. Stargate saying, be nice, Wayne. Classic card. All right, we're going to do the classic card very soon. I got to do Instagram stories. I got a lot to do still, and I only got 13 minutes. Can this man hyperspeed through things? We'll have to see. Cut off the comments for sure, guys. Cut off the comments. Blackhawk saying Koloko needs to humble himself. He's athletically gifted, but there are other players with more experience get in the G League to make up for the time lost. This is true. I'm going to agree with Neil on this, that in some ways Koloko always acted like he was above the G League when he was on the Raptors. He very rarely went down to the G League in his rookie season. I thought that was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. Like, he did not play for the Raptors 905 long enough or enough in his rookie year. And I think that's really hurt him to this point. And I think that Neil's right, that he was a little bit too arrogant, that he didn't think he needed to be down there. And he didn't like it. I could tell. So he didn't take Pascal's advice. You didn't take your Cameroonian countryman's advice. And Pascal says, you got to go to G League, go there and make the best of it and kick ass. Well, Koloko didn't do that. He barely went there. And it seemed like he really was above it. the way he was acting. So I think this really hurt him. So in some ways, that's a stunted growth for him right there. Not being willing to be assigned to G League and getting enough time on the reps with the 905 hurt him in his rookie season. And some of this was Nick's fault too, because Nick didn't put him down there. He kept holding him for up on the big club and having him around for depth, but then he wouldn't even play him. So that was a big problem that year. Nick Nurse was stymieing the development of both Christian Coloco and Delano Banton. And on the download, was he doing it with pre-thought that he's going to the Sixers and he wants to sabotage the Raptors the last year he was there? I could point to that being true, guys. Seriously, why the hell would he hold up Coloco from playing for 905 or for the Raptors? And he just sat around the whole first year a lot of times. Nick Nurse did that shit on purpose because he was trying to hurt the Raptors on his way out. And the evidence is in the play-in game against DR and DeMar DeRozan. The evidence is in that game right there. Cut off. That's right. Cut off. G's saying you have to pay to play. You can't have a dynasty being cheap. OKC did what they needed to do. Yeah. You guys can have supportive and unsupportive things for OKC. I don't mind. Either way. Let's see. Kaloy's saying, remember, this OKC team did what Harden, KD, Westbrook couldn't do. Pay them their worth. So a couple of you guys are big Thunder fans, I can tell. That's fine. You guys can defend them. I still kind of believe what Mike's saying, that they're going to be in trouble in a couple of years. Neil's saying O-Rob was physically better than Castleton, but O-Rob's lack of shooting goes against him. Besides, Raptors are watching these players often on the court. Who knows what Raptors didn't like? I think there wasn't nothing to not like about Orlando Robinson personality-wise. Everything that I saw from the outside seemed like he fit really great. Like he went to the We the World Gala and he was having a good time. There's more energy from Castleton that seems like he doesn't fit. Now, I think part of it is that Castleton has more potential to grow at this point right now still. And that's more why they hung on to Castleton over Robinson, is that he has more room to grow in certain ways. And that may be partly with strength and just additions to his offense that are even better. So who knows what the reasoning is there exactly. Wayne saying, I'm surprised we're not clamoring for Precious to be picked up. Talk to me about our current cohort, not people who got their opportunities already. We're a dumpster fire, of which we're trying to pull it out. We're not a dumpster fire. I don't know why you're putting that label on us, Wayne. We're not a dumpster fire. We're a young core that's building and on our way up. A dumpster fire is a team like Charlotte. Charlotte is a dumpster fire. New Orleans is a dumpster fire. In some ways, Washington's a dumpster fire. Mike is here. He's saying when the three maxes hit, it's like 85%, 95% of their cap. That's what he's saying. That's Mike's point is when those three maxes hit for the Oklahoma City Thunder, that's going to take up like 95% of their cap possibly. That's insane. You're going to pay three players 95% of what you pay everybody and 5% to the rest of the team. And that's like 15 players right there. They're going to get 5%. That's crazy. Orlando Robinson was the perfect bridge between Yak and Ulrich. I thought so too. I'm very big on O-Rob, and I was an O-Rob camp. And in some ways, I'm not happy that Castleton's around. But maybe he can make me happy tonight by showing some stuff on the court. We'll give him a chance. How about that? We'll give him a chance. Fiercely saying, yes, he was in reference to O-Rob. Yeah, you guys are still writing in comments. We need to be finished, guys. You got to respect Trevor J, because I'm 8 minutes away from 2 hours, and I do want to get done in 2 hours, guys. I don't want to do 3 hours today. Let's see. 822 million on three players, SGA, Champ, and J-Dub. Wow. Pelicans Inc. Herb Jones to a 3-year, 68 million. That seems like a steal right there. That's what, 23 million a year. That's really seems like a steal right there, man. That Herb Jones contract. That's a good one right there. Blackhawks saying oil companies are no different than gun companies and tobacco companies. They all try and hold on to their monopolies through deception to consumers. You can include pharmaceutical companies too. Yep. Neil's speaking the gospel and the truth right there. Kaloy saying it seems like Rich Paul is managing all these African guys. Yeah. And we've seen Common Malawat show up for the Suns. He's wearing number 10. And we'll have to see how he looks for them. G saying if this ends up bad for OKC, better for us. I'm agreeing with you on this. Stargate saying the Celtics were not going to go back-to-back in championship with that style of play they were doing. They now see that, and they're changing it up. Yeah, that's true. That you rely on the three-point shot so heavy, you can't have that luck every year. Kaz is saying, I noticed Ulrich English sounds a lot better as well. That's probably true. Yeah, I haven't heard him talk recently, so I'll have to see what next time I hear him. Mike's saying the Golden State Warriors Cavs years killed the small market teams so much that local TV deals are dying now, and it's affecting the salary cap, hence the Windy news of the cap only going to raise 7%. This is a very astute point that just how much it was bad for the NBA when it was Warriors versus Cavs every single year. It was really, really bad. Smooth saying LeBron James not fully feeling valued by the Lakers per Ramona Shelburne. There's overtures that LeBron will cut out and go to the Lakers. Go to the Mavericks. There's some overtures that LeBron wants to get out of the Lakers and go and play with Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving. That he wants to be a Mav all of a sudden. I've been hearing that a little bit on the down low right now, that LeBron is ready to leave the Lakers and go to Dallas. It's kind of crazy. Wayne saying, I think the issue here is using social media as a reference. I give no credence to social media. So teams have to plan and execute. Raptors currently are built for a 3-year run. Let's opine on that. Well, it depends. Yeah, with the current contracts of the core guys, this is true. But who knows what Bobby and Masai, before he left, have planned out. I know that Masai and Bobby used to talk about they've got like a 10-year plan. So who knows how that changes after the 3 years and the tough decisions they have to make with the starting 5. So we'll have to see. But that's still a really good period of time for us to get it out the mud and get going and get to some high levels. And then maybe it'll justify King Edward III spending some money on the Raptors to win because they're close to that championship behind me right there. That's right. Stargate saying Don Staley or Teresa Witherspoon for Temple head coach. I would love Don Staley. Don Staley. Teaspoon would be awesome too. Those are both great choices. Both fantastic choices for first coach for the Tempo. Because he chose the Lakers, Luka didn't. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, does that mean LeBron's not really enjoying playing with Luka? Or maybe it's just that he understands the Lakers are just going nowhere finally. And he's like, yeah, I've worn out my welcome here. And in some ways, it's kind of like, it's not going to work with me here. It hasn't worked hardly at all. You can count a Mickey Mouse championship in the bubble, but other than that, let's see. Kareem saying, are you reaching manufacturing or are you reacting, manufacturing, or reporting? That's why this channel is the best, because we're reporting facts. Big up, Lex. I do opinion for sure, but I also try to be very much reporting. I mean, that's why in my description I say daily Raptors news, notes, and reactions, because there's news, which I'm giving you straight facts and just news is happening. The Raptors are playing the Bulls tonight, and these are the rosters. There's notes. Okay, this has happened in this, and we just want to note that this has happened. And then there's reactions where I'm opining and telling my personal opinion, and you guys are also. So that's the thing. You got to know the difference, people, in today's media world. It's really bad with opinion being taken as fact. Mike saying Lakers are hard cap with $3 million left. Laugh out loud. Bron ain't getting bought out. They spent their whole MLE. Yeah. I see Mike's a capologist. If you're going to say something, I'm going to believe in him. Yeah, your time is up. Cut off now. All right, let's get into the tabs real quick because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Let me see. Is there any ref report for that? They don't tell me the refs for the Summer League. I wish I knew who's going to ref us tonight. I have no idea. Guys, we're doing orange juice today for straight goods on Canadian goods. Now, there's no 100% Canadian orange juice made. The orange juice is sourced from somewhere else, but we want to try and keep it as Canadian as possible and very least American, right? So I'm going to name a couple of orange juices that you guys can buy that are helping to support Canada more than hurt Canada. And we'll start with Oasis. Oasis is a great brand for juice in general. It's a Canadian-owned 100% product out of Quebec. So if you see Oasis brand juices, you can get Oasis, and it's supporting Canada. Allen's is another great juice company. They have the orange juice, the cranberry juice, and the orange juice. So if you see Allen's, that is another Canadian company. Now, they do not have oranges from Canada because we don't grow oranges up here. So in some ways, there's always going to be some sort of international part of the manufacture of orange juice, no matter what. Fairly is another brand name that is Canadian orange juice. They're manufactured out of Toronto. Fruity, Fruity, like fruit with E on the end. That's another one that is Canadian. If you want to buy Fruity, you're supporting Canada. Graves is another one that's out of Nova Scotia. Graves brand orange juice. Rougemont out of Quebec, another one. Sunripe, another one. They're out of British Columbia. And I'm not going to do the blah blah stuff. I'm going to skip all that stuff. So I would tell you right now, Oasis and Allen's and Fruity, those three juice companies are probably the best ones if you want to support Canadian business. Oasis, Fruity, and Allen's. Those are your best juice choices in the straight goods on Canadian goods, giving you your information so you can make better informed decisions and purchases at the grocery store. Morris Peterson on the Instagram stories is celebrating that Mateen Cleaves has been hired as a development coach for the Suns. So it's all kept in the Michigan State family there with Morris and Mateen. Happy about that. Let me go back to the Instagram stories. Hang on a sec. Yeah. And then also, hang on. I just screwed it all up. I misclicked. Hang on. I'll get back to it. Little interlude music there. Got to get to my right spot. Let's see. Lugetz Dort is celebrating his teammates' big 822 million things. Now, Lugetz, you're celebrating this. What does this mean for you, Mr. Dort, as far as your money on top of it? But he's seeing his big three teammates getting paid. Paid. That's right. Jay Nathan's saying, I know Jesus is real because I've seen the difference between me with him and me without him. Jonathan Mobo, you keep your belief in God. It's amazing and it's inspiring. Toronto Tempo president Teresa Resch is putting on blast Sandy Nunez of the NFL Network. She's the best in the business, incredible leader, mentor, and friend. Well-deserved honor for Sandy Nunez. She's got the Pedro Gomez Lifetime Achievement Award for 2025. Also, other awards and stuff going on around Toronto Tempo. Patrick Lee is nominated for some sort of something. I don't know what. He's the CFO for the Toronto Tempo. And also Whitney Bell, the marketing officer, has been nominated for something else also, some sort of business nominations. Kyle Lowry is celebrating that him and Chris Paul are the only 2 point guards in NBA history that have played 20-plus seasons in the NBA. Yeah, you haven't done it yet, Kyle. You got to show up and play this season. But you and Chris will be the only 2 players that have played 20-plus seasons at the position of point guard. And that is impressive. The little guys usually don't have as long as careers. And, well, he's getting there. There he is in the sand trap, hitting the golf ball around. Kyle Lowry, the GROAT. We always keeping up with you, man. Looking good on the court there, on the field, on the links, I guess. Savannah Hamilton's out with her friend. It's girls' night, and she's looking like she's wearing some nice clothes. I'll tell you that. You guys want to go check out the thirst trap that is Savannah Hamilton. Go check out her Instagram. She went to Queens Harbor, and there was some beautiful ice sculptures there. And she's saying that this is her favorite new place now. There's a huge tuna that they were giving pieces of it out to people. And it's so yummy. She says the best tuna she ever had. And this is to become her favorite spot in town now. This new place, it looks like a really extravagant place. And there's the tower. Savannah's a happy Torontonian, that's for sure. Jamal McGlure is putting on blast our summer league schedule. He's all about it. He's gearing up for the Revelers and Carnival next month. There's only a couple weeks left before they're going to begin that parade down in the CNE and doing the Carnival, the Caravana. And yeah, 23 days, he's saying. It's coming up in 23 days. Yikes, get it organized. He's also putting on blast DeAndre Ayton for opening a new community center in St. Elizabeth. So he's giving back to the Bahamas. Good job, DeAndre Ayton. All kinds of stuff there. There's AJ Lawson in the Raptors jersey. He's at Summer League. He's getting ready to play Summer League. He's also got a youth camp coming up August the 10th, 11th. AJ Lawson camp is going to be out in Brampton, guys, at the Save Max Sports Center. It's for ages 7 through 11 and 12 through 15 on the 11th at 9 a.m. $120 per session. And the camp's going to build skills on all kinds of basketball stuff. So if you want to go to AJ Lawson Youth Basketball Camp 2025, it's August the 11th at Brampton at the Save Max Sports Center. So get your information on that. Brandon Ingram is reminiscing about his old team. He's got a picture of Willie Green and Jose Alvarado, and he's calling them Willie and his son. Now, remember, Brandon, you're a Raptor, but I can see you're making fun of your old teammate there. Elijah Martin put pen to paper, pen to tablet, stylus to tablet with his two-way contract. Elijah Martin is officially the third two-way for the Raptors as of yesterday, signing it at the ballroom there. Let's see, is there anybody else? Jamal Shed has got his basketball camp, back to school basketball camp, 4th annual. It's going to be at Manor Senior High School. And I'm guessing that will be in Houston somewhere. Yeah, it's been amazing past 3 years at camp, but I think this will be the best year yet. So remember, it's free. Go sign up now for Jamal Shedd's basketball camp. Eugene Omoruyi is back in his hometown of the Dot, guys. He's back in the city of Toronto, and I love to see that. And he's celebrating the Oklahoma City Thunder max extensions also as a Thunder fan. Let's see. Coach Andrew Jones has got his kids dancing. They're dancing, having a good time. He misses his kids because he's in Vegas. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to go over? No, not really. Siakam was in New York with Ibaka and taking some pictures. That's pretty much it right there. Raptors Reddit reactions. They're talking about how important a role Yak will play with the development of Brandon Ingram's game. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I like that. I love this tweet by Josh Lewenberg. Brandon Ingram was cleared for contact today. He's been training with the team, doing individual work. Next step will be to start scrimmaging over the coming days. Coach Rajakovic said he's pain-free. He's moving well. He's gotten stronger. He's in a really, really good spot. This is all very good news about Brandon Ingram and what's going to be coming up very, very soon. I'm really happy. All the clips we're seeing from the Raptors at Summer League are very happy, professional, and they are about to get to it tonight against the Bulls. I'm all here for it. That's right. Happy birthday, real quick, to former Raptor Rod Strickland. It's Rod Strickland's birthday, and he is 59 today, guys. He's 59 years old today. Wow. 59 years old for the great point guard out of New York, Rod Strickland, former Raptor. That's amazing. Honestly, I'm really surprised about that. Trevor's saying Don wants to be the owner of the new WNBA team in Philadelphia. I could see that. Dawn Staley maybe not interested in coming to Toronto because she sees the horizon of the Philadelphia WNBA team, and being her hometown, she wants to be involved with that. It may not even be that she wants to be the owner or the GM, or not even just the coach. So, yeah, I think Trevor's probably right with that. He's probably right with that. All right, did I make it? I'm 5 minutes over. I tried. All right, let's do the classic card. We don't want to forget about that. Let's see what's going on with the classic card today. Oh, wow. Yeah, this jabroni. No, let's not do him. He's a jabroni. I don't want to even see his ass. Let's do one that's kind of easy. It's not easy, but it's easier to see. All right, guys, here's the classic card of the day. If you can tell me who this guy is. I know that's Ed Nealy behind him, but who is the player behind him? Forward center for the Miami Heat at this time. Full name answer, please. On the classic card, if you can name this classic NBA player on this classic hoops card, I'll be impressed. Because in some ways, this is not. Yeah, there you go. Smooth does know who it is. It's Alec Kessler. Look at that. Smooth Brown Man, our current trivia champion, showing why he's so good. Getting Alec Kessler of the Miami Heat at that time. He didn't stick around for too long. Out of Georgia. There you go. Smooth. You're going to get 150 for this one because that's actually a hard card. Honestly, that's a hard card. And he got it right off the bat, too. He's like, Alec Kessler. That's pretty freaking good. I'm telling you right now. I'm very impressed that Smooth Brown Man got Alec Kessler on the classic card of the day today. And we'll give him 150. We're going to give him 150 for that. Boom goes the dynamite. All right. There we go. All right. We're getting everything done. We can get out of here, guys. I'm excited about tonight. The Raptors will play the Bulls. I'm predicting a win for the Raptors, and it will be built off of the continuity and chemistry that's already built for the teammates of Mobo and Battle and Walter and Shed. And I'm excited. I want to see AJ Lawson be a leader tonight as far as a vet, the older player on our team, and just taking some leadership, him and Jacoby. And we'll have to see the gains of Ulrich Shamshe. We'll have to see what Colin Murray Boyles is all about. And those are going to be fun things. So watch out for Bazelis on the other side and Esenge. And, well, let's compete with them really well. And maybe we tie up Mattis Bazelis and not let him do anything really that well. Now, tonight I'll be on the Discord server live talking in the voice chat during the game. You have to be a member of this channel to have access to Discord and be able to participate with us in our discussion during the game. We will be doing this tonight and for all the Summer League games. So if you want to be involved with me during the game and hear what I have to say during the game, join our channel and get access to the Discord server where people like Stargate and Logical Raptors Fanatic will be in there with me, and we'll be talking about the game during the game. We'll be on the mics. So you'll be able to hear all of us, not just me, the other guys too. So I wanted to see you guys come in there. Yeah. Stargate saying, is he related to Walker Kessler? I don't think so. That's an interesting question. I don't think that he is, but that's a very interesting question. You got me all piqued in my interest. Let me just go look and see. It's probably not likely. If he is, he might be his dad. I don't know. Would he be his dad? I don't think he is. Oh, wait, he is. Holy crap. He is his dad. You were right. Okay, hang on a sec. Kessler's brother, Chad, played for Georgia. Chad was drafted by the Clippers. Chad's son, Houston Kessler, signed with and played for the Bull. Okay, wait, no, he's his uncle. So Alec Kessler's brother is Chad Kessler, and he is the father of Walker Kessler. So Alec Kessler is Walker Kessler's uncle. So you were right. I mean, in some ways you're like, oh, just because they have the same last name, they're related. Just because they have the same last name, they're related? Well, yeah, they do. They have the same last name and they are related. Holy crap. You called it, man. So he's his uncle, man. He's his uncle, man. Mike's saying we got the ballroom courts again. Spending is still happening. I know, that's good. We knew this, Mike. We already talked about this. You're like 2 days late. We talked about the ballroom showing back up. Yeah, they are related. He's his uncle. There you go. Bob's your uncle. There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the Rapid Freak stream today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and join. And I'll see you guys on the Discord tonight during the game. And tomorrow we'll react to the game here live on the channel like we normally do during the season. Well, I'll have a chance to go over the stars of the game and the box score and really analyze the performance of our Toronto Raptors in Summer League tonight against the Bulls. That's right. They look similar. You think Alec Kessler looks like Walker Kessler? I don't know if they look similar. I don't know about that. I think Ed Nealy looks more like Walker Kessler behind Alec Kessler. That's kind of funny that it was true. He's his uncle. That's crazy. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Raptor Freak out. Let's go, Raptors. Beat the Bulls, baby. Beat the Bulls.